bit high. Hits him on the pad. He was looking to work it on the leg side. No appeal as such. There was some noise. Virat Kohli's talking about making noise. Gosh, he is very animated, isn't he?
Frenetic, isn't he? I love it when he feels sometimes that he's got to impose himself on the game, and with him not being a bowler, he's got to do it somehow. I think it's great to watch him. I think it's brilliant.
Very animated.
He's frenetic.
Really animated. He looks, I mean, we can't hear what he's saying. We probably couldn't understand it, but he looks like he's berating somebody. In-swinger, driven away by Shabir Rahman once again through the offside, and it's going to go all the way to the rope. Beautiful, beautiful shot. Twice now he's cover-driven on the up. I mean, you know, it looks, because of the way he's playing the shot, you would think it's over-pitched, but I don't think it was.
No, I think it was a fraction fuller than the previous ball that hit him sort of above the knee roll. It looks to me as though Bhuvanesh Kumar's looking to bring the ball back into him to try and cramp him so he can't throw his hands out, hopefully getting a wicket like he did with Shabir, trying to Sarkar, and drag it on. But he's playing it beautifully. He's getting his body weight into the shot. He's hitting it underneath his eyes, and he's hit that beautifully through sort of a square cover.
Shabir Rahman, I mentioned when he came out to bat, his piercing green eyes, they are really intense, and when you get up close and you feel as if he's looking at you with laser beams. I mean, I could imagine a few bowlers would be slightly unnerved by that. But Jasprit Bumrah in once again outside the off stump. Tamim Iqbal forward, beaten outside the off stump. Did that one nip away? I
think because he's bowling round the wicket now, I think the natural angle you would expect it to be coming into the stumps a little bit more. So I think it's just held its line. So in effect, it has nipped because it should really be carrying on into the stumps, but it's just held its line. That's his great skill.
Good to cheer about for India initially with that one wicket, and now.
Well, just put Bumrah in down the leg side and be a leg by as Tamim Iqbal looks to glance and hits him on the top of the pad, trickles down towards fine leg. 22 for 1. Have you met Shabir Rahman? Have you been
yes.
up close?
He slogged me a couple of times in Bangladesh this winter. I think I got him out, actually.
And what did you think of his eyes?
I'm glad you brought that up. I think I got him out. I'm not sure.
You remember his eyes?
He's got that sort of he looks at you as if he wants to engage with you, and probably not in a polite way. He's wanting to sort of get on top of you and well, like his batting today, he's trying to impose himself, and his eyes sort of give that extra feeling
of, a little bit of edge,
coming to get you. Yeah, absolutely.
Shabir Rahman, 15 off 9 balls, 3 boundaries. Here's Bumrah to Rahman, plays defensively and pushing gently up towards mid-on. The bowler intercepts and does the fielding. Fearless character, and I mean he must be. Every now and then we can see him sort of taking a deep breath and puffing a bit, but he must be nervous. I mean, this is the biggest occasion in his country's cricketing life, but he doesn't look it.
I don't think there'd be a man on the field that isn't nervous because of the enormity of the game.
Here is Bumrah once again, and played defensively by Rahman out towards cover. But 22 for 1.
The skill is not to fear being nervous. It's how you then hone it and allow your skills to take over. Because actually you've got heightened arousals. You're feeling everything just that tiny bit more. And you look at somebody like a Dhoni, and he just has that ability to go, OK, I'm back in the room. And you just see him just relax and go about his natural business.
Here is Bumrah. Down the wicket comes Rahman once again. He's gone over the top of mid-off. He's going to pick up a 4th boundary. Not as convincing as the last time he charged down the wicket. But who cares?
But again, wonderful intent. He's running at the bowler. He's running slightly offside of him just to get it up and over the offside field. As you say, not quite as convincing. A little bit off balance. Not quite got the solid base that he would want to hit from, but still the end result is very good and very productive, and actually putting India on the back foot. They're trying to get India to make a bowling change in this first 10. I would suggest
26 for 1. Here is Jasprit Bumrah once again, and played defensively by Shabir Rahman, pushes it out towards extra cover. I wonder if South Africa's openers are watching this game and just seeing that there are only 2 men on the boundary. Hashim Amla and Quinton de Kock strolled their way to 35. in the 10 overs, the first 10 over power play, and that was they actually had the second lowest score, South Africa, in the first 10 overs. Bangladesh had a couple of games when they were 30 for 4.
Yeah, it's just that curious mix of getting it right now, isn't it? Because Bangladesh generally want to go off quick. They want to hit balls out of the ground in the first 10 overs to get off and running, but it's not always easy.
Tamim Iqbal on strike now as Bhuvneshwar Kumar is in to hits him on the thigh pad, back of a length, and Tamim is 2 off 10. Sabir Rahman 19 off 13.
I think why things have changed in the first 10 a little bit is because of the next period of play in the second power play, only having 4 out for such a long period of time. If you have wickets in hand, you can expose a bowler, because you can't shut down every sort of piece of the field with a fielder out on the boundary. So they want wickets in hand for that.
Kumar, leading edge, down towards third man, is going to run away for 4. Well, peculiar. It wasn't an orthodox edge, if there is such a thing, because I think it was more of a leading edge. He was going to play it on the onside, and it sort of came off the edge, leading edge down to third man.
Yeah, I think modern day bats, the edges now are almost as wide as the actual main face of the bat. But again, Kumar's trying to just push it across the left-hander. He's got the wind coming from left to right as we're looking now, which is helping that little bit of shape. And all that happened really is that Iqbal's tried to hit it a little bit early and got that sort of leading edge, like you said.
The edge of the edge.
Yeah.
Pushed out on the onside, setting up for a single! Oh. Would have been very close. Virat Kohli, the fielder. No, it's Rohit Sharma. Virat Kohli was doing the backing up. And you mentioned MS Dhoni and how cool he was. I find it slightly bizarre in a way that how little he is involved. As the senior player, as the senior pro, as the former captain, he does almost nothing. It's like, okay, Virat, it's your boat, it's your tank, it's your team, it's you are in charge, you are the man. And it's almost as if he consciously makes sure that he does nothing to in any way project an image of captaincy. That's pushed away defensively on the offside.
I actually think that's a great quality, because he did it for so long and he was so successful. I think that's a really difficult thing to do, go from everything coming through you to not everything coming through you,
or nothing,
and minimal, and being happy just to say, I got your back on this, you do it your way, I'm here, whatever you need, I'm here. Which it looks to me as though that's the way he's gone with it.
Bouncer, that's a good surprise delivery, and Sabir Rahman not ruffled by it, manages to duck underneath and allow it through to MS Dhoni.
You do still see him, because the wicketkeeper generally has the best idea on angles for fields and whatever. You do see him just sometimes with his gloves really quietly, just couple to your left, couple to your right, which obviously him and Virat would have had a conversation about that. And Virat would say, look, if you think an angle's just off, you sort it out for me, pal.
31 for 1, Bangladesh. Bouncer again, and swing and a miss from Sabir Rahman. It was a bit of a wild swish at that one from Sabir, and over his head it goes, down towards the keeper. 5 overs gone, 31 for 1, with Tamim Iqbal 7 off 12 balls, Sabir Rahman 19 off 16 deliveries. And Sir Clive Lloyd is there.
Well, it seems like a very good start here for the Bangladesh. Although they lost early wicket, they still made some shots. But I noticed you said early on about Dhoni not having
every twist,
taken it really
every
far.
turn. Today's the day I neither skid nor slip. I just rule every curve.
Blocks it.
The game the other day, he was, he was moving, helping with the field, placing and so on.
When odor comes from your body, why spray you on your shirt again and again?
Switch to new body odorizer and get day-long odor control with just one use. Nivea Men. It starts with you.
He used to be. Well, in his youth, didn't he?
Around the wicket again.
Batting in.
Perfect start of the wicket, and then
here is Jasprit Bumrah once again, and is nudged out towards square leg. Kedar Jadhav does the tidying up. 31 for 1.
the wicket, another
He rides motorbikes, and I mean,
the wicket.
Well, he went to cut his hair, and it was very long, and about 20,000 people turned up.
Really?
Yeah.
True story. Bangladesh losing the toss, put into bat here at Edgbaston, 31 for 1, turned away by Tamim Iqbal again, straight out to square leg. Hardik Pandya does the fielding.
The other thing that you have to look at here, because of the boundaries not as long, your men, the third man, and probably fine leg, have got to be much finer than it should be. If you notice, a couple of them went down and they were too wide.
Bumrah in again, power past the outside edge. Genuine play and a miss there. Very, very close to the outside edge, and Jasprit Bumrah just polite inquiry of Richard Kettleborough, just not really an appeal, just checking that there wasn't a delicate edge on that one.
Yes, well, I suppose too, because nobody really walks anymore. So no. I suppose it's these situations where the umpire, well, they now have the third umpire to help them out if there's any doubt.
Riding away from the bat.
Bumrah once again. Forward comes Tamim Iqbal, pushes that defensively. Are there any walkers? Hashim Amla, occasionally he walks.
Yes, and they said
it's got to be a fairly thick edge, though. You can't rely on it. I think he walks for thin edges.
The wicket keeper from Australia,
Adam Gilchrist.
Yeah,
he's been retired.
No, they said that he was a walker.
He was a walker. Yeah. Bumrah once again pushed away by Tamim.
Well, they said some of these guys only walk if they're run out of petrol.
Yeah, they only walk if they've got a dog on a lead. 6 overs gone, 31 for 1.
The weatherman is right. There's some clouds sort of building in the back.
I'm hoping that worst of that grey cloud is gone. I could be wrong, but it seems to me that we've got blue sky heading our way.
Well, we have a local here. He probably might be able to tell us. Our Warwickshire man here.
Indeed. Is Ian Bell here?
Yeah.
Oh, he is.
He is.
Oh, well, he'll know. We'll have Ian Bell on it.
We can blame him if it goes wrong.
Now, Bhuvneshwar Kumar continues from our commentary end. Down the wicket comes Shabir Rahman, charging at this one. And it may well be that he set off momentarily too soon, and Bhuvneshwar Kumar may have seen him coming, bowled the bouncer, and he swung wildly at it and made no contact. Through it goes to MS Dhoni.
I don't know. Well, I suppose there are not too many fast bowlers you want to chip to and sort of hit overhead. These guys are taking a chance here.
Kumar once again up to the crease now. Bowls pushed away defensively by Shabir Rahman. Out towards cover point. Straight to Ravi Jadeja. There's no run. The one man out, Sumyar Saka, the left-handed opener, bowled off the inside edge by Bhuvneshwar Kumar for a second ball duck. Bangladesh were 1 for 1, and well, any thoughts that they might retreat into the defensive shell were dispelled immediately by Shabir Rahman. Picked up 4 fours, charged down the wicket on a couple of occasions, hit over the top of mid-off. Slower ball from Kumar, and Shabir Rahman plays defensively out onto the offside.
Well, the sun is out.
The floodlights have just been turned off.
Yeah.
It was very, very grey 25 minutes ago, but we've got shadows, and they're being cast by, or formed by the sun rather than the floodlights. Blue sky above. All is good. All is well. One slip in place as Kumar is in with another bouncer. Shabir Rahman ducks underneath it. 1 for the over, confirmed by square leg umpire Richard Kettleborough.
I'm wondering if that wasn't going down the leg side, actually.
It was very Shabir Rahman ducks underneath it. Surprised that wasn't called a wide. 1 for the over, confirmed by square leg umpire Richard Kettleborough.
Because I'm wondering if that wasn't going down the leg side, actually, over his left shoulder.
Xavier Rahman ducks underneath it. That wasn't quite a head height. Never mind shoulder by a square leg umpire, Richard Kettle. 4 saving 1 on the offside. Or, well, maybe not saving 1. There's certainly 1 saving 1 and 3 on the edge of the circle. Caught at backward point by Ravi Jadeja. Bhuvneshwar Kumar full and wide. Xavier Rahman tempted, threw the bat at it. He certainly doesn't hold back, but he has slapped it straight to backward point. Jadeja doesn't drop too many, certainly not when they come straight at him, no matter how hard it was hit. And Xavier Rahman's bright, breezy, entertaining little cameo. Jadeja doesn't drop too many, certainly not when they come straight at him, no matter how hard he's on his way. Bangladesh 31 for 2.
Yeah,
Xavier Rahman's
really.
bright, breezy, entertaining little cameo. Jadeja doesn't drop too many, certainly not when they come straight at him, no matter how hard he's on his way. Bangladesh 31 for 2. Xavier Rahman's bright, breezy, entertaining little cameo. Jadeja doesn't drop too many. Substantially he's on his way.
Bhuvneshwar, which is a sort of a delivery that didn't warrant that sort of shot, but I suppose because he wasn't scoring as quickly as he would like to. But there again, they weren't doing too badly. 31 from 6.5 overs. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good going, Bangladesh.
Well, they've got plenty of quality. The next
again, they
3
weren't doing too badly. 31 from
really just world class, and not in terms of potential. I mean, the proven records. Mushfiqur Rahim, who's come to the crease now, the Test captain, and then followed by Shakib Al Hassan and Mahmudullah and Shakib combining for that record and match-winning partnership of 220 in the last game against New Zealand that put Bangladesh into the semi-final. 230 it was, both scoring hundreds. But anyway, Mushfiqur's opportunity now. He's the next man at the crease. He's facing now. Here's Bhuvneshwar. Forward comes Mushfiqur, plays defensively up towards mid-off. It's fielded by the captain Virat Kohli. So a bumper crowd expected. Still people arriving at Edgbaston. They may have been put off by the early morning showers, but there are still people outside queuing to get into the ground. The majority will be supporting India, as always seems to be the case. 7 overs gone. Bangladesh 31 for 2. More from Sir Clive, and then you'll be with John Norman.
Well, I must say Bangladesh do have quite a lot of top-class batsmen, but it's probably they would have been better served if they didn't lose that wicket, because having wickets in hand at the end is quite important in these one-day games.
32 for 2. That wicket for Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Sir Clive, means that Kumar is now the top wicket taker for India in the tournament with 6 wickets. Second in the list.
Yes, I think he's
run-outs. He's bowled well this morning on a pitch that's giving a little bit of lift, some good carry under cloudy skies earlier, but in a heartbeat we have a change in conditions. The sun is out, the floodlights are off, and we're set fair. Bangladesh 32 for 2, and Mushfiqur Rahim, facing his second delivery, is forward and playing up to mid-off. No run, he's yet to get off the mark. And Tammy Iqbal 8 from 19, and it's not often you see him get off to such a slow start as we've seen today.
Yes, and you have to give some credit to the Indian bowlers. They bowled a fairly good line. Already gave away a couple of 4s, but you expect that, if the ball is sort of moving around a bit, it's very difficult to control. But they seem to have settled in quite nicely here.
Bumrah in from the Birmingham end, and again defended back to the bowler. There was a very definite tactic, Sabir, when he was batting. He was really going at the Indian bowlers, and while it was working, it certainly seemed to be the way forward for Bangladesh, who were rocked from that first dismissal. Sumya Sarkar, who's had a poor tournament so far, he went for a duck, and India have shown that they can be rattled against Sri Lanka, certainly. Virat Kohli forced into some strange bowling decisions as this is played to backward point. Ravi Jadeja fields 32 for 2, but I think what we might see is just a period of consolidation. Bangladesh can't afford to lose another wicket.
Yes, well, they've realised that, and they're playing that way. They're not, you know, any flashy shots or anything like that. They're trying to consolidate and hopefully keep up to the rate of like 4 or 5 per over. And later on, if the sun stays out, it might just flatten out to a good batting track.
Bumrah in again, and just a touch more width than the last 2 deliveries. This is played into the covers, and the fielder at cover point making a sprawling stop. Kedar Jadhav to restrict any chance whatsoever of a run, and Shikhar Dhawan is just moving out from second slip. I thought he was going to go up and pat him on his backside. That seems to be the way these days. I'm not sure if there was much patting of the backside when you were captain of West Indies, Sir Clive. Bumrah in again, and they're playing a miss outside off stump. A nervy shot from Mushfiqur Rahim, who ends the over as he started it, yet to get off the mark. He's at 0, Tamim Iqbal 8, and Bangladesh, after being asked to bat first, 32 for 2 after 8 overs.
Well, India's regrouped. Their bowlers are bowling a very good line, and it's obvious that they're now trying to put some pressure on the Bangladeshi batsmen. And it looks pretty good now. So excellent weather. The cloud looks like it's gone. And you know, let's hope that we have a full day's cricket and no more interruptions.
Let's hope so, because I'm not sure there's been a game played at Edgbaston which hasn't been affected by the weather in one form or the other. But we haven't lost any overs today, and the forecast is set fair for the rest of the day. As Bhuvneshwar Kumar set to bowl his 5th over from the pavilion end. He's right arm round the wicket to Tamim Iqbal. Straightish delivery, which is dropped to his feet, no run. 32 for 2. These two teams have got a little bit of history. You know, in the with the fact that India and Pakistan don't play so much anymore for reasons that we know about, Bangladesh have almost filled the void a little bit. And certainly, there's no team that Bangladesh enjoy beating more than the one they're facing today, but that of course brings additional pressure as Tamim faces and knocks it into the leg side this time. It's fielded, no run, and we've only had the one since that dismissal of Sabir. The last 2 times these two teams met, 2016, the World T20, and Bangladesh, well, they're probably still wondering how they lost that game. They needed 2 runs from the last 4 deliveries and managed to lose 3 wickets and get 1 run.
Yes, I saw that. That was very unprofessional. I don't know if they panicked, really.
I think they did, didn't they?
But I think they've beaten a lot of the teams that are above them in this competition.
A very experienced side, Bangladesh, as Kumar comes over the wicket and he's angling on the stumps there. This is just played down to fine leg for a single, so Tamim Iqbal had a run to the score, 33 for 2. Yeah, I just wonder, I mean, we commentated on that game for TalkSport 2 as well, and it seemed to me that Bangladesh were going for the glory shot. Soumya Sarkar, Mushfiqur Rahim, both trying to clear the boundary when they just needed a couple.
Well, and they could have hit it, you know, if they hit it in the ground, they probably would have they would have won quite easily.
Absolutely. Bhuvneshwar Kumar, who didn't play in that on that day, as Mushfiqur Rahim steps away and tries to carve him through mid-off. A inside edge back past the stumps. He does pick up a boundary, but after facing an over of deliveries without adding a run to his score, he just thinks enough's enough, and he's trying to force the issue, but somewhat fortunate there.
Yeah, it's a bit of a Chinese cut there, because he was looking, I don't know where he was trying to hit it, but he got a sort of inside edge and it just flew past the wicket keeper down fine leg for 4.
I think he was actually going through, aiming for extra cover more than mid-off, actually looking at a replay of the shot, but either way he was trying to hit the ball down the ground and it went behind him. 2 slips in place as he's forward, and this is a conventional cover drive which will rattle away to the boundary, and that's more like it from Mushfiqur Rahim, who doubles his score in a shot. He moves to 8 and the score 41 for 2.
That was a beautiful shot. It was, you know, he hit not with any, he just stroked it through extra cover. That was wonderful. That's the type of cricket you can play. You don't have to hit the ball, you know, in the air sort of thing. You can still play decent cricket shots, and that was a wonderful cricketing shot, and got 4 runs for it. And they're back again, 4-1 for 2 from 8.5.
Mushfiqur Rahim, whose average goes up a few runs when he's playing against India, and you can add another 4 to that. The last shot was exquisite, and he's put the pressure back on the bowler, short wide, and cut away for another 4, the third in the boundary, in the over. And Mushfiqur has gone past Tamim Iqbal now, 12 runs to his name. Average goes up a few. It does look a good pitch when you were in line or length. 9 overs gone Bangladesh, 45 for 2.
Well, yeah, we keep talking about, you know, playing good shots, good cricketing shots. That's a terrific cricketing shot. You know, he got back, it was slightly wide, and caressed it past point, and you know, no chance of being out there. So you can still play decent shots and
45 for 2.
Well, yeah, we
Bangladeshi voices in this predominantly Indian crowd making themselves known. Bumrah in again. This is on off stump and play, 2 points. No run. Tamim Iqbal stays 9 not out, and the score 45 for 2.
No chance of.
The last 2 times these teams met in an ODI bilateral, Bangladesh won 2-1. I think that the Indians at the time were surprised by the ferocity and which Bangladesh went at their opponents, and we're seeing flashes again of that today. Bangladesh can get a score, they will be absolutely on India. This is played back to the bowler, slight leading edge actually, just dropped short of Bumrah. They're not allowing Tamim Iqbal, they're not feeding the cut at all, are they? No width at all.
No, the point is too is that when they go to these countries, they have to take the best teams, because these guys are good enough now to, you know, to make mincemeat of you. They're you know, getting very professional.
Absolutely. Bumrah in again, and again it's on the body of Tamim. Can't work their way into the leg sides. I mean, when you look at this Bangladeshi side, the likes of Tamim Iqbal, Mushfiqur Rahim, Mahmudullah, Shakib Al Hassan, Mashroof Mortaza, they've all played in excess of 150 ODIs, and by doing that, they played together. You know, they've played as a team, and then, of course, they've got some bowlers coming through. Taskin Ahmad, very pacey, right arm fast. Mushfiqur Rahim, we know a lot about. Played down to fine leg. Finally, Tamim takes a single. Plays 25 deliveries now. He moves to 10. Mushfiqur 12 not out, 46 for 2.
And not only that, if you play that amount of one-day games, there's nothing that you wouldn't have experienced. Situations would have, you know, will be coming thick and fast, and you wouldn't, you're not that you say, you know, you didn't have this situation before. So really and truly, that they are probably just one of the finest sides around at the moment.
This is certainly the most successful period in Bangladesh's cricketing history, as Bumrah comes in again, and this is defended up to mid-on. 46 for 2. And I suppose what happens is that the opposition, you know, you lose the fear factor. You know, instead of coming into a game against India and putting them on the pedestal, Bangladesh come into this match thinking, hang on, we should have won that game in the World T20, and actually they should have won the last time they played in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Well, certainly they battled for much of the game.
Yeah, that fear factor is not there again.
Defended again by Mushfiqur. And, a tidy over for India, just 1 run from it. 10 overs gone, and I will bid farewell to Sir Clive, who's going to make his way.
And the sun is still shining.
Well, we're all happy when the sun is shining. And I tell you what, I think England would have loved to have played on a pitch that was giving a little bit of carry, some true bounce, fast outfield, sunny skies. Not that necessarily Pakistan wouldn't have enjoyed exactly the same thing, but it was England who came unstuck really in Cardiff. Pleased to say Ian Bell is alongside me in the commentary box. England batsman, Warwickshire captain. He's having a bit of time off because, of course, Warwickshire can't play much cricket when Edgbaston's on international duty. You enjoying yourself?
I am. Well, it would be nice to be in the semi-finals of the Royal London Cup, but unfortunately we didn't get there this year, so yeah, a little bit extra time.
I'll ask you about England in a minute, as Kumar is in again, and Tamim Iqbal advances down the track, and that really is a wild shot. It doesn't connect, goes through to the keeper. 46 for 2. Well, you, like me, like anyone who wanted England to get through to the final, be a little bit disappointed today after what happened yesterday.
Yeah, it was really disappointing. I think you've got to give a lot of credit to Pakistan. I thought they played absolutely, outstanding. I think watching them from their first game here against India, and I think a lot of people have sort of written them off, and they've got better as this tournament's gone on, and they produced the goods on the big stage in a semi-final. So they were fantastic.
It was really noticeable just how on it from ball one they were, and that's not often the case. Play back up the pitch to Kumar, no run, 46 for 2. You're listening to TalkSport 2 and Cricket Radio. Pakistan, they come into tournaments and everyone, the cliches are doled out, mercurial, inconsistent, never know what Pakistan are going to show up. If you take that game against India, though, they have been absolutely bang on it ever since, really. It's just weird that they can't do that against India.
Like you said, they must be sometimes very frustrating to support. One day they're absolutely brilliant, and then the other day they're not. And I thought they did everything right. I mean, the fielding was fantastic, the bowling was brilliant, and actually one thing with the bowling, I thought they were really aggressive. I think you look at that England batting lineup, there's a lot of power, a lot of guys like to play the shots. There's a lot of bouncers, hit the pitch really hard, and actually nearly went back at England with some real aggression.
It was a good cricket match at the end, wasn't it? The result didn't go England's way, as we know, but Pakistan in a final of a world event.
No, absolutely brilliant. And I think, like you said already, that England will be sat there watching this thinking, we would have loved to have played on this pitch at Edgbaston's. Lovely carry, quick outfield, and it didn't quite work for them yesterday, but this looks like we've got a good game as well.
It does indeed, as Kumar is in again, and this is chipped airily just behind backward point for a single. That's Tamim. Tamim Iqbal, a player that you would have come up against plenty of times. He just doesn't quite seem on it today, which is strange when you consider he hit a century against England and backed that up with a 95 as well against Australia. But today, not quite seem right.
And sometimes that can happen. One thing with Tamim, I remember when he was a young player, and the first time I saw him, he was a real aggressive player. He'd come at you from ball one. Actually, he seems as he's got a little bit older. He's just taking his time a bit more at the top, and he's certainly got more hundreds from that kind of style of play. But in these games, you want your big players scoring runs, and he's out there, and that's the best place to be doing it. You don't want to be getting out and being in the dressing room.
Mushfiqur Rahim, who's one of Bangladesh's big players for sure, although very short in stature, just drops us to his feet. So he's going into run a ball, 12 not out. I mean, there's so many rivalries in cricket, there's so many rivalries in all sport, but this is quite spicy between these two. It'd be interesting, I said this earlier with Sir Clive, if Bangladesh could get a score around 250, 280, which I'm not sure they'd take right now, but let's say they've got something to defend, they will come at India.
Absolutely, and that's sort of always the danger. I know that obviously Kohli and India would have liked to have chased, that's what they prefer doing, but when it's on a really good wicket, you do give a little bit to the batting side now that have got, like I said, Bangladesh not really got a lot to lose here. They're the underdogs, they can go out there, play aggressively. If they get a score, there will be a lot of pressure, as we saw with England yesterday. They're the favourites now, and it's all on them.
A short delivery to finish the over is ducked by Mushfiqur Rahim. So 47 for 2. We've had 11 overs of the game. The early dismissal of Sumya Sarkar under really biblically bad skies, a bit of rain as well, floodlights are on, and you're thinking, this could be really tough for Bangladesh. I was quite heartened by the way the Sabir Rahman came out and played. It didn't work today, but
I think that was just what they needed. Somebody's a step up now, nothing to lose, go and take it to India. That's the style that Bangladesh want to win today. That's what they're going to have to do with bat and ball. They have to be really aggressive and take India on.
Well, we've got the first bowling change of the day. Ravichandran Ashwin, another player that you've played against so many times, Ian, and he didn't play in the first couple of games for India, but he's been brought on ahead of Ravi Jadeja, the off spinner, and he is in for his first delivery of the innings, which is played back to him. Yeah, it's going to be coming around the wicket.
It's going to be really interesting to see what happens on this pitch. Obviously, a fresh pitch. Will there be any turn? Generally, Edgbaston, like a wicket like this, it shouldn't turn too much.
In again, a little bit of flight here, and Luke, we sent back the batsman Tamim. You don't chance your arm against Virat Kohli.
No, and this is where India are brilliant now. They've got world-class spinners, but then you can look around the circle now. Jadeja, Kohli.
as Ashwin's in again. This is down the leg side and we've given us a wide. We've got a slip in place, a backward point, short extra cover. There's a fielder, defensive fielder on the boundary on the offside, and there's also a long off to Tammy Iqbal's forward in defence, no run, 48 for 2. There's also a long on, short mid-wicket, and a deep square leg just behind, and fine leg is up inside the circle. This is a beautiful, deft late cut from Tamim, which is fielded just a single. Judged the length really well there. It looked like he was about to race off to the boundary. Maybe just got a little bit too much on it.
Yeah, slip might have got a little hand on it, but yeah, nice shot, picked the length really quickly, and I think it would be nice to see, certainly Ashwin here, I think with that breeze across the ground, you'll get a nice bit of drift away from the right-hander and into the left-hander. I haven't seen any spin yet, so if India can get used to the pace, then hopefully they can Bangladesh get used to that, start seeing the runs flow.
Ashwin is going to be bowling to the right-handed Mushfiqur Rahman. He's coming over the wicket and very straight on the stumps as well. Stump to stump line, and it's defended back to Ashwin. You know, talk about the experience of the Bangladesh squad, but, you know, India, of course, fearsome. And the holders as well, as Ashwin is in again. And this is on-off stump, worked off the hip of Mushfiqur, but no run. So another tidy over for India. They're zipping through them. Bangladesh 49 for 2 after 12.
Yeah, I mean, India are just a world-class outfit, aren't they, in this format as well? And they play in high-pressure games all the time. You know, these guys are used to playing in big games with the IPL, and like I said, they won this tournament here last year, and they're always, this time of competitions, they seem to raise their game, and, you know, led by example with Kohli, he just seems to rise to these competitions.
You played in the final here, 2013. I was listening at home. I thought the game was in the bag, to be honest, and it's...
Yeah,
teams learn how to win tournaments, don't they? And unfortunately, I think sometimes the reverse is true. Although that ended up being a very successful summer for England, and yourself, of course, winning the Ashes. And I'm not sure England would have won the Ashes if it wasn't for you.
Yeah, it was a nice season. Like I said, our cricket generally was pretty good then, and disappointed not to get over the line. But like, as you said, I think India in particular and Australia, when it gets to this time, they have the knack of getting over the line, and unfortunately we just haven't been able to do that.
Hardik Pandya bowling from the pavilion end, right arm around the wicket, and again bowling on the stumps of Tamim Iqbal. They've played against him long enough to know you do not give him anything that he can cut or pull, and as it stands, that's exactly what's happened. 12 from 35 deliveries. You know, I didn't realise at the time, although I suppose it's pretty obvious when you think about it. I think it was Jonathan Trott's autobiography, and he said that defeat really rocked the England team. You know, it was a tournament that you were all so desperate to win, and actually it took you all a while to get over it. This is a back of a length delivery which Tamim Iqbal seizes upon in terms of length, but a top edge flies over short mid-wicket, comes back for a second though, and 50's up for Bangladesh in the 13th over.
Yeah, it probably was actually in that team that
was that no ball as well?
Free hit here, have we?
Well, he's overstepped as Pandya.
Oh, it might not be got 4 in the circle, not 5, is that right?
Oh, and he's having a word with Kohli. Yeah, I think you spotted that, Ian, so it's a free hit.
Just what Bangladesh needed right now. Actually, India have just pegged them back, so if this can go into the stand, this will be a nice little confidence boost.
So was that an error from who do you blame when the fielding positions aren't right? Is it the captain or is it the bowler? Is it a bit of both?
I think it's actually, the fielder needs to just take, Kohli's going to have a lot on his plate, looking around, so the fielders have to be on it as well. I think you can't just rely on the captain to be on it every single ball.
So 3 hits for Bangladesh. Hardik Pandya is in. Tamim Iqbal steps away and hits that high and handsome into the Birmingham sky. Is caught on the in the outfields, but of course there's a free hit. He can't be out in that regard, but the throw at the striker's end is direct. And Dhoni has the stumps off, but the batsmen are back, so a couple of runs in there. It looked good. There's lots of action. 2 runs to score.
Got plenty of height on it, didn't he?
Did indeed.
Not the distance.
54 for 2. We're in the 13th over. Yeah, it ended up being a very successful year for England, summer for England. Then there was the final against West Indies as well, back in 2004 again. one that England really should have won. A little bit of width given to Tamim. He guides this down to third man. 55 for 2.
No, you're right. We seem to be getting in those positions, but never getting over that line. And same with the T20 World Cup just recently in India as well, isn't it? You know, that game nearly looked all over, and some incredible cricket from the West Indies. So, look, I think certainly in this country now, one-day cricket's certainly going forward, and seeing a lot of power, a lot of exciting young play. Even the Lions side just underneath now, we've seen some real talented young players coming through. So things look pretty good, and obviously with the World Cup 2 years away, again, hopefully this is just, again, another step forward for English cricket to get that bit closer to winning one. Yeah, I think there's definitely a feeling that it's the white ball cricket's moving in the right direction. Again, played down to third man by, this time, Mushfiqur, the right-hander. Hardik Pandya coming over the wicket, 56 for 2. It's a setback for sure, and it's a disappointment. Love to have seen England in a final, but there's no doubt about it, the team are moving in the right direction. There is bags of talent waiting to come into that side as well. Yeah, definitely. I think certainly when I played, we were very reliant sometimes on playing on green seaming wickets, that would really suit our style of play, whereas I think this team can play on any surface. I know they... Pandya he's bowled him, dragged on, but it's a no ball. Well, Pandya getting the full shot from Tamim, who again tried to pull a delivery back onto his own stumps. But before Pandya and the Indian fans could celebrate, the umpire's arm had gone up, and that's a clear no ball from Hardik Pandya, who is not only robbed of a wicket, he's going to have to bowl an extra delivery, and it's another free hit. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of things like coaches it would drive them mad, and Kohli, I'm sure now, is just get your foot behind the line, and it's a massive wicket in Tamim now, and just a little bit that Bangladesh needed. 56 for 2. That's a real let-off for Bangladesh, and the free hit coming up now as Pandya's in, and that is going to have to be bowled again. It's a wide full toss, which Tamim on any other occasion would have thrown his arms at, but on this occasion he was quite wise there actually. He pulled out of it, so he did well, didn't he? Free hit will have to be bowled again. Yeah, just got a little bit ragged here, India. Like, I don't know why in this last couple of overs. They just need to get back to keeping it simple, bowling their best ball as they did through the first power play, and keep it nice and calm. Hardik Pandya, right arm over the wicket this time. He goes full, he goes wide, but Tamim Iqbal has just drilled that through the mid-off region, up and over for a boundary. Handsome shot, and India will just have to hope that that isn't the over that's got Tamim Iqbal up and running. He moves to 21, the score 62 for 2 in the 13th. Yeah, that's right. You don't want to give these players too much opportunity, and this might just kick-start his innings here. And it was a lovely strike, got a real good base, hit it really hard, straight down the ground. That's the key, isn't it, to cricket, just having a strong base. People always talk about footwork, which is of course crucial, but players who have a strong base, especially in one-day cricket, can just react to the delivery then, can't you? To hit the ball straight, and if it's short they'll just pick it up, but yeah, that was a perfect way to get them off and running again. Well, 63 for 2, Bangladesh. The run rate won't concern India, and that last over might. 14 from it, 14 from it. So Hardik Pandya has been expensive in his first over. I mean, undeniable talent, Hardik Pandya, for sure. I think India hoping he's going to go the same way or fulfill a similar role for India that Ben Stokes does for England, but there's still a slight concern that you can't rely on him to bowl 10 overs and innings. Again, when you've got young cricketers coming in, that's sometimes going to happen. You know, this is where you want your senior players, your Ashwins, these guys, to really step up, take that responsibility. As you bring in young players, this is going to be a great experience for the young Indian players and the guys who've been there before. You know, they'll just be enjoying it as another day in the office. Absolutely. This is down the leg side from Ravi Ashwin, so signalled to wides. He's bowling from the Birmingham end. Tamim Iqbal just a couple of steps down the track and hits the ball straight back to Ashwin. He rattles through his overs, doesn't he? That's another thing about this Indian side. Jadeja and Ashwin, before you know it, they've bowled 4 or 5 overs. Again, it's very straight. Not much turn. No, I think it's the accuracy. Absolutely, a little bit of drift into the left-hander, but again, he'll keep the stumps in play, looking for those LBW bowls. if they go across the line, you know, he's always got a chance of getting a wicket, which is what you want through this middle period.
Just slightly wider this time, Ashwin, and it's played up to long off, and cups his hands to his mouth, just gives him a little bit of a blow.
But like you said, it's India side, they could rattle through 5 or 6 overs now, and all of a sudden as a batting side, you sort of look where all of a sudden you're up to 25 overs gone, and you don't know where that time's gone. So, you know, they're very, very good at this little period.
So he's going, Ashwin was going round the wicket to the left-hander, Tamim, but over the wicket to Mushfiqur. It's just all about angles, isn't it? Spin bowling these days, not necessarily about raging turn, accuracy, angles, and just cramping the batsman up for room.
That's right.
This is a nice late cut from Mushfiqur, but fine leg is up within the circle, goes straight to him. A few metres either side, that would have raced away for a boundary. But this is exactly what India wanted, just 1 run from the over plus a wide, as Ashwin is in again. Little bit of flight there. This is looped up, and Mushfiqur down on the sweep. Square leg is back, so 1 more run to the score.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Obviously now with this extra man in the circle, he's got mid-off up to Mushfiqur, and it's saying, if you want to hit me over the top, again, there's a bit of risk-reward. He'll want to take that look for a boundary option, but there's a chance of getting a wicket as well.
Last ball of the over, again wide in the crease, and Tamim Iqbal very confidently just steps out, opens his body up and plays the ball up to long off. And that will be about it from me. But Ian Bell will sing us a song for a couple of seconds, and then Chetan Narula will take us through the next passage of commentary.
You're listening to the India versus Bangladesh, the second semi-final of the 2017 Champions Trophy here on TalkSport 2 in the UK and Cricket Radio around the world. And bright and sunny, Ian.
I know, it's a little bit different than normal, isn't it? So it's we'll take it while it lasts.
Very different from this morning already. I mean, just walking on towards the stadium, it was spitting down. It's Pandya continuing to Tamim Iqbal, this time Fuller just a tad outside the off stump. He comes forward and plays it towards backward point. No run added there. This is the 15th over going on. 67 for 2, a bit of a hectic start for Bangladesh, those 2 wickets, but they're progressing for sure. They're making sure that the runs keep coming.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, it looks a really good surface, which they always are here. Obviously, India prefer chasing. Bangladesh probably wouldn't mind now the sun's come out as well to get on the wicket first.
No slip in position for Tamim as he comes down the track. Pandya saw that, dropped his length shot, and well, halfway down the pitch anyway. So a bit more bounce, and the batsman pulled out at the last moment. Interesting there.
It is. I mean, some lovely bounce. I mean, I've played a lot of cricket here, and there's some really good carry today. Looks a fantastic wicket. So I think hopefully, I mean, again, Bangladesh carry on. They've got 2 of their better players here at the minute. They get a good score in for a really good game of cricket.
And they've been saving up this pitch throughout the tournament. It's a fresh pitch for this game today, unlike the one in Cardiff yesterday. Again, short delivery from Pandya. Tamim up on his ankles and plays it off his back foot and towards mid-wicket for just 1 run. We saw a bit of, just perhaps a bit of hint of movement today, different from the other games, on account of the cloud cover perhaps. It dissipated quickly away from Bhuvneshwar Kumar. But those 2 wickets...
Yeah, I mean, if there's anyone in world cricket that can swing that new white ball, and that is Kumar. He's got great skill of going both ways and uses the angles really well.
Rahim this time playing a miss from the batsman. Short of length just outside the off stump, tries to go for the cut, thought he had the width, but 125 Ks from Pandya, perhaps a tad slow, maybe beaten for pace there.
Yeah, it looked like a slight change of pace maybe, and the first time actually it hasn't carried through to Dhoni, which is like I said, it must have been a slight change of pace because the wicket really has gone through beautifully.
Just 2 deliveries ago you were talking about the good bounce, and we saw that one from Pandya.
That's right, yeah.
Flying off towards the keeper. Again, Rahim facing 68 for 2 for the moment. Fuller delivery from Pandya this time. Quick running between the wickets. Virat Kohli quickly on the ball, didn't collect it properly. He's fielding at mid-wicket. In the meantime, the batsman crossover for a single. Just 2 runs so far from this over. 69 for 2 in the 15th. Ian, what do Bangladesh need to do here? I mean, just make sure that they don't lose wickets?
It's a bit of both. I think they've got to be brave today. I mean, there's no doubt that India are probably the best one-day team in the world. If they play a little bit within themselves, I don't think they're going to beat India. If they're nice and brave and they come out and they're aggressive, they've got a chance. But look, it's a good start. And they've got two of their, like I said, better players who can score hundreds in the middle, and that's what they need. If they can build this up, go through the gears, still, I think here you're going to want 300 minimum to really put India under pressure.
Last ball of the 15th over then from Pandya. Again, short ball, this time dug in, a bit too short. Flies to the wicketkeeper. Dhoni, the bounce coming into play again, but wide signal by the umpire, as also one for the over. Kumar Dharam Sena from Sri Lanka, the umpire from the pavilion end. 3 runs now from the over, as well as that extra delivery, 70 for 2.
Yeah, lovely carry, wasn't it? Again, I think these England bowlers will be watching from somewhere today, thinking, oh, I'd love that pace and bounce in the wicket yesterday.
Do you really think England will be watching today?
I'm sure they will be.
Well, it was a disappointing game for the hosts yesterday. Again, change of pace, fuller delivery on the middle leg. Tamim Iqbal comes forward and clips them off his patch. Just a 1 run down towards square leg to end the over. 71 for 2 after 15. Good pace from Bangladesh in terms of their scoring, 4.73 despite the 2 wickets. It's different from what we've seen in this tournament. Teams have tended to get just 40, 50, keep those wickets in hand. Bangladesh, like you said, have tried to be braver today.
Absolutely. I thought Sabir at the top, he just tried to just get a bit of momentum Bangladesh's way. It also allows Tamim just to get himself in. Again, he's already shown in this tournament he's a world-class player. And they're going to want to build now, go through the gears, and with these new rules with the extra man in the circle, you can't have fielders everywhere, and there's always going to be a boundary option. And if you've got 2 guys set, as we saw with Bangladesh against New Zealand, two players in, set on good scores, very, very hard to stop people from scoring runs at the back end.
Rohit Sharma at first slip as Ravichandran Ashwin is continuing from round the wicket, bowling from the Birmingham end. This time Fuller on the off and middle, just driven down the ground by Tamim towards long off for a single. And the Indian team's just been announced for the West Indies tour. Rohit Sharma and Jasprit Bumrah rested. They've had a long international season. Rohit obviously coming from injury, but he's played a long IPL season. They took the Mumbai Indians to victory for a 3rd title. Bumrah also involved in there. Meanwhile, Mushfiqur Rahim will be facing Ashwin from over the wicket. Slip still in position. Again, turned it down towards, past that fielder at mid-wicket, down towards long on for another single. Milking the spinner for singles, optimal strategy here.
It is, yeah. I mean, again, they're obviously playing quite within themselves. They're taking the ones, but I don't think India will be too disappointed with that. You still want to look for a boundary option. It'll be interesting which one of these two will start to be more of the aggression, or use more aggression and start, as I said, put Ashwin under a little bit of pressure. I think at the minute, if they're milking at 3 or 4 and over, I think India are pretty comfortable and happy with that.
Last time around, Ashwin coming round the wicket to Tamim, who stepped forward and played with soft hands towards the leg side. And the batsman again crossing over for a quick single. And this time Rahim facing. That pressure shot has come through. Fuller on the off and middle. He went for a paddle sweep. Got the angle right. And down towards fine leg for just the 1 run there. So there's your shot. That's the one that might put Ashwin under some pressure. We'll come back to Ian Bell for more comment after this delivery. It's a change in field. That slip has gone out. And, they're plugging that gap down towards long off against Tamim Iqbal. Bit of a silly mid-off, if you will. Also a long off in position. This time played with deft hands because the slip had been taken off. Waited. There was a bit more width outside the off stump. That'll run down for a boundary. Tamim's 3rd boundary. He's moved on to 32. It's 79 for 2.
Yeah, he played that beautifully, didn't he? And like you said, the change of field took the slip out. Just been milking nicely to long off. And it was a little bit quicker, it looked like, from Ashwin. Just pushed it through and he picked the length quickly and just deflected it past Dhoni's gloves and got a beautiful 4.
And again, no slip, still in position. This time down the leg side, he's swept it, but will find the fielder at square leg for just the 1. It's turned out to be an expensive over after all those singles. 9 from the over, it's 16 gone, 80 for 2. You just saw Rahim play that paddle sweep, and immediately after that, a just cut from Tamim.
That's what they need to do. Just then to be nice and brave, take the odd calculated punt, and then that was a beautiful boundary. Boundaries are going to put Ashwin under pressure, and that's what they're going to want. Like I said, India will be happy with dots and singles, but the boundaries now and then are going to keep them under a lot of pressure.
And 3 overs, none for 15. Well, it would have been an unspoiled over, 3 overs, none for 10 perhaps for Ashwin with all those singles, but that boundary just ruining those figures at the last moment. It's Pandya who's continuing from the pavilion end. It's Tamim facing no slip, this time short of length again on the middle leg. He pulls, standing tall in his crease, finds the fielder straight at square leg, just 1 run added. Ian, a lot of people have been surprised with seeing Bangladesh in the semi-final. Surprising for you as well? Or now their stature is growing?
I suppose the way they played it's not surprising. I watched obviously a fair bit of England over there this winter, and again going to Bangladesh now is getting harder and harder, and they made England work really hard over there, and they deserve to be in this semi-final, and they're showing why.
Pandya once again, this time angling towards middle and leg, just played off his hips down towards the fine leg once again. They was looking for 2. But Jasprit Bumrah is quickly onto the ball, restricting them to just 1 run, 82 for 2. They played in Ireland before this tournament. How much do you think that would have helped?
It certainly would. I mean, again, wickets in Ireland would actually probably be a lot more seam movement than probably what they're going to get today. And I believe they did beat New Zealand in one of the games over there. So again, they'd have come into this tournament with a lot of confidence, that nothing to lose sort of attitude, and well, I think we've seen that all the way through. That's a brilliant shot.
Poor delivery from Pandya. Down the leg side, too much room. He just came down the track, Tamim, and helped it along over the mid-wicket fence. Brilliant shot, as Ian Bell said. That's the 6. The first 6 for Tamim. He's moved on to 40 off 55, 88 for 2. Bangladesh looking very comfortable in the middle at the moment.
Exactly that, and that's what we've talked about. If they can be nice and brave, take the odd calculated risk here, which that was, running down the wicket, picked his spot, no fielder out there. No, really good. Now it puts the bowler right under pressure again.
Not the best delivery from Pandya either.
It looked like he just changed the pace. He went short the ball before, and then a slower ball then, it looked like.
Fuller delivery this time, pushes the batsman onto the front foot, plays it late down towards third man. They got the 6. Now they don't need to take any risks here, and that's what these 2 batsmen are doing. So much experience for them. They got the odd boundary in the last over. They've got the 6 in this over. In the rest of the over, they can just take those singles and doubles, just play the ball around, milk it around. Yeah, what Sri Lanka did.
Yeah, 100%. I think the one thing as well on this wicket, certainly a fresh wicket edge batsman, sometimes those slow balls don't really grip. Right. Yesterday at Cardiff, you'd have seen them really be a really good ball to bowl, whereas here, sometimes you want to bowl that real nice heavy length, top of the stumps, to make it hard for batters.
Again, a short delivery dug in by Pandya. Rahim just gets under it. No run added there, dot delivery. It's the 5th one of the over, just the 1 remaining in this over now, 89 for 2. Because of the fresh pitch, perhaps then the slow delivery not the best option today?
I personally think when you're looking at this week, you've got to bowl your best ball as many times as you can, mid on and mid off up. Now, if they want to hit you off your best delivery, then at least you've got a chance of getting a wicket as well. So, not too many variations, I don't think, on this pitch. It's just keep bowling your best delivery.
Mid off, mid on in position, as is extra cover and mid wicket and backward point, and just short of length outside the off stump. And Rahim guides it down towards third man of the last delivery, takes a single. That's 17 gone now, 17 overs done. It's 90 for 2 after India won the toss and opted to bowl in the second semi-final. You're listening to us on TalkSport 2 in the UK and Cricket Radio around the world. Ian, 90 for 2, 17 overs. We haven't seen that too much in this tournament. Bangladesh will be thinking, according to you, again, just an early punt. What target are you thinking about?
They'll be thinking 300. Again, this looks, we were saying about what kind of tactics you use. It looks a really, really good wicket, and that's perfect for a semi-final. Brilliant crowd in, and it just looks brilliant. So Bangladesh will be looking for as many as possible. Obviously, one of these guys going on and getting 100 will certainly help them do that, and then we're going to have a great chase later on.
It's a full house here at Edgbaston Cricket Ground, and obviously you'll expect that when India are involved in the semi-final, but it's also Bangladesh, and we're seeing equal amount of green and red in the stands, along with the traditional Indian blue, and a strong breeze is blowing across the stadium, and it has carried all those dark grey clouds from the morning. There's still some on the horizon, but we can also see lots of blue around, and the forecast for the rest of the day should be good.
Don't get too carried away. It's Birmingham.
Obviously, yes, it's Birmingham.
But we've got it at the minute, and we'll enjoy it. But yeah, like you said, it looks fantastic. The noise out there is brilliant, and everything looks fantastic for a real special semi-final.
And like India-Pakistan, it's India-Bangladesh, just budding rivalry. Not exactly India-Pakistan, but India-Bangladesh is a budding rivalry. The sounds have been good coming from the crowd. Equal measures, singing, chanting. What do you think of the crowd?
No, definitely. And like I said, the Bangladesh just seem to be getting better year after year. So the better they get, the bigger this rivalry is going to get. So they've got some world-class players, and hopefully we're going to see the best of them today.
Right, it's 90 for 2 after 17 overs. Just a bit of drinks break going on right now. We had 2 wickets from Bhuvneshwar Kumar. He's got both the breakthroughs for India. One in the first over got Soumya Sarkar bowled him inside edge onto his stumps, and then Sabir just hitting the ball straight down backward point's throat. He was gone for 19 of 21. Sabir has an average of 50.3 against India in ODIs. Perhaps would have been disappointed with a few runs today. His normal ODI average is about 27. But again, Bangladesh still have a lot of experience in the middle order, and this is the partnership that they'll be looking up to. 59 of 67 so far.
Yeah, I mean, you can't underestimate him. Maybe his role at the top of that order there was just to go out there and take a little bit of aggression to India and allow these experienced players just to get them in and get settled. But he certainly did that. He certainly just put a bit back on India and probably showed the rest of his team, let's make it our day today. Let's go out there, let's give it a really good go. Let's walk off the field at the end of it knowing that we've given absolutely everything.
Thought you might see Ravindra Jadeja now after the drinks break. It's Ashwin again.
He might possibly come from this end with that breeze that comes across, or maybe a little bit of drift that he would like, as we're seeing Ashwin get that as well. So possibly this end.
This is the 18th over going on. Ashwin coming over the wicket, slip in position for Mushfiqur Rahim, this time on the off and middle, played off his legs and down towards square leg for just 1 run. Again, they will look to target the spinner. That's India's maybe a little big weakness in India's bowling, the spinner and the fifth bowler.
I mean, again, 50 over cricket from sort of what I'm watching here, I mean, it's about taking wickets through that middle period, isn't it? So, you know, having an aggressive mindset. I mean, we're seeing here Kohli still keeping a slip in, again, looking for wickets. I mean, again, if you just go into defensive mindset as a bowling unit, then people are going to get 300. So just keep looking for wickets.
Last ball defended straight to Kohli at extra cover, this time on the middle end leg. And Tamim has played it down towards long on for just a single. Jasprit Bumrah, the fielder, keeps them down to 1. And when Bangladesh are playing, you spot a lot of tigers in the crowd. And when I say tigers, I mean, obviously, fluffy toys.
Yeah, not real ones. Yeah.
Not the real ones, you know, obviously. Ashwin over the wicket now. The fielder in the deep coming into the circle. So you just have long on down at the boundary for Rahim. Slip has gone out and cut away past the fielder at backward point. His fielder in the deep. He'll give some chase and brings it in just before it reaches the rope. So just 2 runs there for the batsman. Crossover easily. It's 94 for 2 at the moment. Rahim has moved on. Mushfiqur Rahim has moved on to 22. No slip, as I said in the last delivery. This time coming down the track and again past that fielder at mid-wicket. Maybe Kohli could have been a bit quicker, but no. This is down to long on. Just a 1 run. Shikhar Dhawan, the fielder there. 1 run added to the total. It's 95 for 2. 5 runs from this over so far. Ashwin coming round the wicket. Slip. Rohit Sharma in position for Tamim. Down the wicket. He's got it past the bowler. Drives down the crown.
Really is nice batting at the minute. I mean, they're quick to go forward and back, and that's the key of playing spin really well, is making sure and they're both getting right down the pitch, but then when they're slightly short, they've got right back, and they've both got value for runs for the cut shots as well. So they're playing it brilliantly at the minute.
96 for 2 after 18, and again, did you see perhaps a bit more control from Ashwin after that previous over? That slip did come in for Tamim, but he was operating without the slip for Rahim.
Yeah, I mean, I think they played it very well, didn't they? They're making it hard. There's no spin at all. It looks a really, as we've already said, it looks a really good wicket. And the way they've just moved the ball around the field there makes it hard again for Kohli to set a field. It was the first time I think Ashwin he's bowled very straight. Everything's hitting the stumps, and that one there where we got a cut away, just lost the stumps there. Again, you know, that won't work the line he wants to bowl. He want to bowl nice and straight. And any time then if Bangladesh make a mistake, then they've got a chance of taking wickets.
And when you hear that song and the chance to go with it, you know who is going to bowl. It's going to be Ravindra Jadeja for the first time this morning. He's getting ready to bowl from the pavilion, and Tamim Iqbal facing no slip for the left arm spinner. Fuller delivery, drifting onto his middle end leg, has played it off his legs down towards the square leg. Shikhar Dhawan with a bit of a chase there. Batsman in the meantime crossing over 2 runs.
Yeah, nice batting again into the gap. You know, it's a big boundary out to that side of the ground, and nicely played. Again, it's not always about hitting 4s and 6s, but if you can place it into those gaps and take 2, it's good cricket.
Fuller this time on the off and middle. He's played it down the ground towards Yuvraj Singh, who's stationed at long on. We have just a 1 run as Tamim takes and moves on to 46. we have mid-wicket, extra cover, and a backward point. Similar field for both batsmen, except that third man has come up now and in slip position. It's Ravichandran Ashwin. So India changing fielders at their slip position. Jadeja, meanwhile, bowling to Rahim this time. Just a pack of length outside the off stump. He's played it softly towards backward point. No run added. He bowls overs quickly and holds a tight line, doesn't he?
Bowls a really good line. That actually just looked at it, just gripped a touch. So it's good to see a slip in there.
This time Fuller again on the off stump. He's on the front foot. Plays it defensively towards extra cover. No run added again. Jadeja is a spinner who will bowl that consistent line, that consistent pace. So Bangladesh will have to be very clever how they play him this time. Driven past that fielder at extra cover on the front foot and down to the deep. Just the one run, and it'll be Tamim on strike as the 100 for Bangladesh comes up. 100 for 2 in the 19th over, which is yet to be completed. 5.3 per over. Bangladesh are making steady progress this morning.
They'll be really happy so far, and if they can carry this on for the next 10 overs, they're going to give themselves a great chance of getting 300.
Over the wicket from in the air. Oh, over the wicket from Jadeja. Tamim Iqbal going for the reverse. Played it in the air. There's a fielder stationed at square leg up in the circle, Jasprit Bumrah, and it was just over his head. Runs down for 4. His 4th boundary, and it's 50 up for Tamim.
Yeah, he's played absolutely brilliantly, hasn't he? It took a little bit of time. I think India, those couple of no balls, gave him those 3 hits to just kick-start his innings, but we've seen some really good shots. I mean, that again, reverse sweep over the man on the offside there. Brilliant, puts the pressure right back onto India again. If you're picking up these boundaries through these middle periods and also rotating the strike, it really is going to keep a lot of pressure on India.
38th half-century for Tamim Iqbal. He's spearheading Bangladesh today. The senior batsman, the senior pro, the senior opener. And he's putting his hand up as Ashwin continues from the Birmingham end to Rahim, this time on the off and middle. And he goes onto his back foot and just plays it for a defensive dab. No run added there. 104 for 2 at the moment in the 19th. 19 overs been completed. It's the 20th over going on this time. Played it again softly towards mid-wicket. No run added there. Bangladesh have made steady progress since they hit their 90s and moved on quickly past the 100 mark. No wasting time this time. Again, driven to the fielder extra cover. That's Virat Kohli as Ian Bell leaves us, and I'm joined by England international Gareth Barry.
Good afternoon, sir.
Fresh pitch, not much in it for the Pacers here, Gareth, as Ashwin again to Mushfiqur Rahim, turns it off his legs towards square leg. No run added. Tight one this over, no runs so far.
Yeah, he's bowled a very tight line with the square leg in. It stops the rotation, really.
Again, outside the off stump, coming forward and turning onto the leg side towards Virat Kohli again. This is tight bowling from Ashwin. Just the one ball to go into his 5th over now. None for 21 so far. Played late from Rahim. Bit of a mix-up there. Has to be a quick throw from Yuvraj Singh, who was stationed at his old position of backward point. Just the one to end the over. Then 20 gone. It's 105 for 2.
Yeah, it's a really interesting period of the game with double spin on. The one thing with the fielding regulations that changed about a year ago now, the spinners can only have 4 fielders outside the inside circle. So Ashwin's bowling with a long on, a sort of a deep mid-wicket square leg, and then the cover's out. So there's always somewhere for the batsman to hit a boundary where the fielder maybe traditionally back in the day would have been. So mid-off probably would have been back a few years ago. So this is probably the period that we maybe alluded to earlier, that Bangladesh might try and take the spinners on. We saw the reverse sweep off Jadeja the previous over, and it's whether they try and hit those holes that have been created.
Jadeja again to Mushfiqur Rahim from the pavilion end. Again, we have seen that reverse sweep coming out. It's come out again on the very first ball. Third man was up in the circle. He's gone over his head and down towards the boundary. Starting off this over with boundary. So again, that pressure being put on the spinners by the 2 batsmen. Rahim has quickly moved on to 29. That was his 4th boundary. Bit of change in the field. No. Backward point, and third man still up in the circle on the off this time. He's played it defensively towards a backward point. That's good batting from Bangladesh, isn't it?
Very good batting. And it looks like they're targeting Jadeja more than Ashwin.
This time Jadeja once again. Try to go for a sweep again. Played and a miss. Dhoni very quick in taking off the bails. They've gone upstairs. Big appeal from Dhoni there. Jadeja only appealing after Dhoni had gone.
Yeah, it didn't look like he dragged his back foot too much, but we'll see on the replay now. But I think with Jadeja bowling the ball slightly quicker than Ashwin, the batters feel like they've got more pace to be working with. So the cross-bat shots, the reverse switch hits, whatever the new world description is, this is looking closer than originally thought. Oh, has he got something grounded? What do you think? What do you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, his toes were originally outside the crease.
Yeah.
And just as Dhoni is taking the bails off, he's pushing his toes back. He hasn't lifted his foot and plopped it down behind the crease.
It's almost a transference of weight, isn't it? As he's tried to sweep the ball, he's gone onto the front foot, which has dragged him forward, and then as he's missed the ball, he's transferred back onto the right foot, which is probably, he's behind the line there, isn't he?
Well, again, seems a bit tight. Yes, that just, again, like, he's not shifting.
If that was in Australia with the wider lines, I'm not sure he's behind. But in England, the lines aren't as wide.
That's pretty interesting. Maybe, you can hear from the cheer. That's Bangladesh fans cheering. A lot of flags waving around as well. That's not out. That could have been closer, like Gareth Barry said, in Australia.
Yeah, with the wide, the lines are just that bit wider.
Jadeja then to Rahim, this time tighter on the middle leg. He's played it down towards back to the bowler. In fact, no fielder at mid-on, so just no run added there. Just the 4 runs so far in this over. Jadeja once again to Rahim. This time again outside the off stump. Drop just back of length onto the back foot, cut away towards the fielder in the deep. Just the 1 run added. He moves on to 30. Score is 110 for 2 now in the 21st over.
There is just a tiny bit of spin, isn't there? I wouldn't say spin, maybe the wrong word, but just a bit of shape off the surface.
Again, back of length from Jadeja. Tamim Iqbal plays it back to the bowler. 21 overs gone, none for 13 so far from 2 for Jadeja. It's 110 for 2. A comment from Gareth Barry, and then to take the action forward, it's Mark Saggers.
Yeah, I think the game's sort of nicely poised, and with the 2 spinners being on now, what we find is that the batsmen will rotate the strike. By that, they're trying to get singles, they're hitting out to the sweepers. And with us being sort of June time now in Edgbaston, there's quite a lot of bare wickets. We'll see the ball being bounced in on these wicket ends, trying to scuff the ball up, which will soften the ball for the spinners to make it hopefully grip a fraction more for them. But actually what they're trying to do is trying to get scuff on the ball for reverse swing later on in the innings.
Absolutely, and delicately poised this one right at the moment. This has been a very good partnership once more from the Birmingham end. Set of bowls, and this time Mushfiqur just dabs it backward of square. Let me just give you the field for a moment here. Important at this stage, of course, he's got 3 men saving a single on the offside, a man square on the cover boundary. As once more, Ashwin comes in and bowls, and this time he's just pushed a bit wicket on the onside. There won't be any run there. And there's a square leg, a wide-ish mid-on, and then of course there is the long on, deep backward square. Lovely atmosphere here today. Once more, Ashwin on his way, bowls, and this time it's a fuller delivery, and it's dug out and played up just wide of the man at mid-off, and they're comfortably through for another single. 111 now for 2 in the 22nd over. Gareth, what's interested me about this is that Tamim looks a player to me, and it's been such a clever innings from him with what was going on at the other end earlier on.
Yeah, he's evolved his game, hasn't he? Sort of maybe in the last 5 years he's evolved it. When he was a bit younger, he was just a dasher, and he kept dashing. Whereas now he plays the situation, he looks to bat big. You know, if he manages to go on, I think this will be his 10th one-day 100.
Well, Ashwin's ran the wicket to him now, and he cuts him just backward of square. It's a full-blooded shot, and really it was a wonderful piece of work from the batsman. Onto that as quickly as possible. There's nobody back there. And another 4 runs, 115 for 2 now, and he's on a 54 from 64 delivers. I like the way he's paced his innings as well. It really has sort of added to the momentum. He knew that he had to keep he's basically the man that's got to stay there to give them this platform, which they now have. Once more, it's Ashwin round the wicket to him. He comes down the wicket this time, and it's over extra cover. That's 4 more. Absolutely no chance of stopping that one, and the Bangladeshi crowd are up on their feet once again, and 119 for 2 now as we come to the end of this 22nd over. Suddenly the run rate is up to 5.5, and Bangladesh just sensing here they've got an opportunity to move on. Ashwin, what can he do this time? Comes in just wider in the crease, and this time it's Glance finally, and this will race all the way down to the boundary once more. That's 3 fours in 3 balls from Tamim, and he's on to 62, and Bangladesh 123 for 2 after 22 overs. Just the sort of over, and just the sort of thing that we were talking about, Gareth, before this game started here. This is where now the Indians have got to think.
Yeah,
they're under pressure.
Great over there from Bangladesh, and Tamim. The first ball is used the pace and a tiny little bit of width, and carved it away through backward point. The second shot, wow. Absolute wonderful skill in this. He's danced down the pitch, but he's danced leg side of the ball to open up that offside, go into out over extra cover. Wonderful skill in that shot. And then a little bit bowler error in the last one, where he just managed to clip it past short 45. But actually, what it means in the game, it means Bangladesh are on the ascendancy and moving forward nicely.
Jadeja comes around the wicket, and this is Uppishly through the mid-wicket area, and they're going to get 2. They'll probably come back for a 3rd. It's a good stop on the boundary this time, right down there by Kumar, but they're through for 3 runs.
Yeah, he's actually only got on the leg side, he's got a man sort of just in front of square on that leg side, and he's got a long on, so there's quite a big vacant space there at mid-wicket.
Jadeja once more on his way, and just waiting for this one, and he's cut it. It's another single there. They're beginning to find the positions to keep this scoreboard ticking over. There's going to be a change of field now as well for Tamim. The man for the left-hander now comes into cover point, and there's a man deep backward square now. Fine leg is up, saving the single. Man at mid-wicket as well. And of course we've got a long off waiting here too, as he comes over the wicket and bowls, and defensively pushed on the onside, and there is no run. You just sense here that the atmosphere has been scratched up a knot, and once more just that deft little fine cut. It's a single in the end, the ball with pace on it, but good fielding in the end, and it's 127 for 2 now in this 23rd over. Spinners can get away from you if they work in tandem in these games, but at the moment Bangladesh have got this sorted. Cut back, square on the offside, going for 2. He's timing the ball now absolutely beautifully, Mushfiqur Rahman. And the 2 of these, this you sense is a critical part now of this game. 129 for 2, having been put into bat by India. Bangladesh went at it from the start. Sumya, though, had already fallen for naught off the bowling of Kumar. And then Rahman, perhaps shot selection wasn't right, out for 19. Jadeja round the wicket again, and this time it's just pushed into the mid-wicket area. There'll be another single, and end of the over. Mushfiqur Rahman is 37, Tamim is 63, Bangladesh 130 for 2 from 23 overs.
Yeah, you can see Bangladesh growing in confidence here. The one thing they won't be too worried about is spin. They obviously face a lot of spin in Bangladesh, and generally it turns quite a lot. So on a very good bastard surface, without too much spin, there's a little bit of hold in the surface, so it creates angles for the spinners to operate in. They're playing it very confidently. They're playing some expansive shots and getting full reward for it, but then also they're able to knock the Indians around, to rotate the strike, to keep the scoreboard just ticking along nicely.
Got the man just in front of square on the offside of the boundary. We've got a man saving a single, a backward point, and we've got an extra cover and a mid-off. Comes in, bowls, looks for the reverse, a sweep again, but paddles this, in fact, this time. He's going to get 2 runs. It was Uppishly there, but the field are onto it down here in front of us as Yuvraj scoops it up, and the rest of the work is done by Jadeja, but another 2 runs, 132 now for 2. And Mushfiqur Rahman moves on to 39. Ashwin once more from the Birmingham end. He's got a long off, he's got a deep extra, he's got a mid-off, and he's got a man on that delicate cut shot, reasonably fine on the edge of the circle, saving the single. Ravi Shastri's come alongside me here. Hi, Ravi. How are you?
Hello, Mark.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you again. Ashwin, this time again, he plays it uppishly on the onside. There'll be another single there. 133 for 2. Halfway through this 23rd over. Just sense here, we're in a critical part of this game right now.
Extremely critical part. It's a great start from Bangladesh.
So once more, it's going to be Ashwin round the wicket, comes round now and bowls, and it's just looked onto the bat and just pushed delicately out on the onside. They had a very good over a couple of overs ago against Ashwin, which has now meant that they've been able to steady themselves and just keep the scoreboard ticking over at this stage. Plenty of wickets still in hand, 134 for 2. The swap now is Mushfiqur Rahman waits and Ashwin comes over the wicket, and again it's just played wide of mid-wicket for a single. Man in from long on, and 135 for 2.
Two very good players of spin. They use their feet nicely. They've got all the short options, to take the spinners apart.
Left-handed Tamim waits now once more. He's on 64. Round the wicket comes Ashwin, and again it's an expansive flow of the bat. It's a drive through extra cover to the man on the boundary, just another single, and he moves on to 65 from 70 deliveries. I've really enjoyed the innings as well from the Bangladeshi opener. He needed to do what he's done. He's built it so well and put his side in a reasonable position here at the moment. Mushfiqur Rahman waits now. Over the wicket goes Ashwin. He goes back, plays him again through the mid-on vacant area, all along the ground for another single. And at the end of that over, 24 now have been bowled. Bangladesh 137 for 2. Tamim is 65. Mushfiqur Rahman is 42. And here's Ravi Shastri.
Yeah, extremely responsible innings from Tamim Iqbal. He's the leading run getter in the Champions Trophy. You expect him to get runs, but like you mentioned, Mark, the way he's built it today, he took his time early on. At one stage, he had reached 10 of 28 deliveries, but then since then he's up the ante, and he's got the shots against spin. He uses his feet inside out, cuts, reverse sweeps.
I'm delighted to say here on the TalkSport 2 and Cricket Radio exclusive global partners of the ICC Channel 2 group, to welcome the chairman of the IPL, Rajiv Shukla. Oh, Ravi, it's lovely to see you. Good to have you here today. We'll have a chat as the action goes on as well. Oh, what an exciting finish you had this year, hey? At the end, couldn't have got any better. These bowls. It comes forward and they're thinking about a single here, and he's sent back. And now there could be an overthrow. Yes, there is. Just that little. That's just the sort of thing that can happen when you begin to chase the game. As India now know they've got a lot of work to do, and Jadeja there will. Just wait. Just going to change the field here now for Tamim. He's got a man deep backward square. He's got a man deep mid-wicket as well as he bowls. And this time it's defensively pushed out on the onside. There's terrific work from the captain. Throws down the stumps. But at the non-striker's end, there was no problem.
There's a test for India now. They'll be tested here because I do believe they're one bowler short. They should have played a fast bowler instead of a batsman.
In comes Jadeja once more, and it's swept all the way, and a controlled shot along the ground, backward of square, and another single. 138 for 2, 139 it is now for 2, and Tamim's on to 66, and Mushfiqur is on 43. Over the wicket, round the wicket he comes now, and bowls, and again it's swept, again controlled, keeps it down, backward of square. They'll come back for the second, 141 for 2 in the 25th over, and 2 more for Mushfiqur Rahman.
Oh, what a platform from where they can accelerate, get past 300 easily from here. They've got a lot of depth in batting and some good players to come.
Just waits, just takes a check on the field again. 3 men still saving the single on the offside. In comes Jadeja, just touches that one up a little bit more, coming down the wicket and defensively pushed back to the bowler, and there is no run. Quickly into his stride once more here, Jadeja. Comes in of bowls, and again, he thought about coming forward, but in the end, Mushfiqur decides to go back, plays it defensively on the onside, and man comes in from long on. End of the over, 142 now from 25 overs for 2, and Tamim is 66, Mushfiqur Rahman is 46. So, Chairman, just tell me about that with the Mumbai Indians and the Super Giants. What a final you had this year, didn't you? And what a tournament.
No, it was very, very interesting final. We had never expected that Mumbai Indians is going to win by 1 run only, and that too in the last bar.
Yeah.
So those who saying that IPL's result are already known, now I mean they must see that how the games are decided in last over or last bar. So that's the strength of IPL, and IPL's viewership has also gone up manifold. Now it's 20% up, and especially the attendance in the stadiums has also gone up by 30%.
Oh, it's been absolutely fantastic. We're going to have a change of bowling here, aren't we, with Jaraf coming on from the Birmingham end. Just with that, with your sponsors and the likes of Vivo and others and everybody who's been involved, and the prize money going up and up. I mean, it really is in good shape on this 10th anniversary.
Yes. I mean, the sponsors are also very happy, and we are going to give out the tender very soon, the new bids.
Yes.
And I hope that we are definitely getting much more money from broadcasting rights, from the title sponsorship and other rights also.
I think as well, that the whole world of cricket it's taken off, hasn't it? We've got superstars from around the globe that has made it an absolute much watch and listen to in those 2 months at a critical time and a great time, particularly for us as well in the Northern Hemisphere. I'll come back to that in a moment. First delivery, it's short, it's swept, it's a brilliant bit of fielding down there on the deep square boundary, just keeps them down to a single at the moment. And it's 143 for 2, Ravi says.
Yeah, Kedar Jadav's coming, and he's coming to fill in the overs now.
Yes.
For Pandya, just in case, he doesn't have a good day. And this is Bangladesh's chance of really putting further pressure on the Indian attack.
2 men on the offside saving the single. He's now decided that for the left-hander, he's going to move his long on further wide. 3 men on the offside, comes in round the wicket, bowls. It's quite a flatter trajectory of his delivery, and it's a short delivery, and it's just played neatly in front of square for a single. Once more from Tamim. 67 he moves on to, and Mushfiqur Rahman is now 3 short of his half century. Bangladesh 144 for 2. We've learned so much about how to play this competition from your competition. It's just again a nudge outside, and 145 for 2. Just while we're going on here, I've got the combination of Ravi Shastri, obviously, and if you're just joining us here, the important chairman of the IPL, Rajiv Shukla, is alongside us. Once more, comes round the wicket, bowls, driven for another single, up to long off.
So far, Bangladesh is really playing very well. We had not expected that they would be doing so well.
It's a very strong Asian continent now. When you look at teams like Pakistan, Bangladesh, India, Sri Lanka, all very strong sides.
What has been amazing here is that they've all come to the fore together. This time it's over the wicket, and it's just nudged behind square, and another single to the Bangladesh total. 147 for 2. Tamim moves on to 68. Mushfiqur is on 49. So it's Tamim, the left-hander, waits once more as Jadhav around the wicket. The sun comes out again here at Edgbaston, and he bowls, and again he just makes room for himself and places the ball in front of square. There's just another single there. 148 for 2. Ravi.
Yeah, just one question for Shuklaji. When is the tender due? Because it's going to be watched by everyone in the world, because 10 years rights are over with Sony, and now you're going to put out a new tender.
As far as title sponsorship is concerned, which is currently with Vivo, 27th of June the tender will be open. Applications are already invited, and 7th of June the the result will be out. As far as broadcasting rights are concerned, in July we are going to issue the tender, and towards the end of July, maybe first week of August, the broadcaster will be decided. But that will be for 5 years, not for 10 years.
Okay, well that's
and the rights are being bundled. Digital rights as well as broadcasting rights will be together in one bid, and another bid there can be segregated also.
Okay, well that's great news as well. Do stay with us just for a moment here as the action is back underway, and once more Jadeja bowling from this pavilion end. The sun is now out, the crowd are up on their feet. The noise here is just wonderful at the moment. It's really intense. He's going to come round the wicket now, and he bowls, and it's an inside edge this time from Mushfiqur. but it's for Mushfiqur Rahman, it's a half century, and he really has played his part in this third wicket partnership. And Bangladesh themselves have moved on to 150 for 2. Mushfiqur 54 fours, 61 deliveries, and 152 and 150 for 2. And Bangladesh at the moment going very well indeed. Ramesh Shastri.
Fabulous partnership. 119 of just 123.
Jadeja comes forward again and bowls, and it's just placed through mid-wicket. No run, all along the ground. And once more, Jadeja over the wicket, bowling to Tamim, and he comes forward and just watches the ball onto the bat and plays it back down the wicket. The thing, as you were mentioning there, Ravi, now they put themselves with this platform. They don't have to be silly at this stage.
Absolutely. They've got a great platform where they should get more than 300 comfortably.
150 for 2 at the moment. Just floats this one on the leg stump, but again it's pushed round the corner. These two batsmen running well between the wickets together. 151 for 2.
They've complemented each other extremely well. Mushfiqur, the aggressor early on, while Tamim took his time, and then Tamim Iqbal upping the ante. But terrific partnership.
151 for 2 they are, as Jadeja comes round the wicket again, and this one's just pushed in front of square. Both of these batsmen now in form, both of them finding the gaps, knowing exactly where to put it. End of the over, and 152 for 2 now on 27. So, Chairman, as well, I mean, such an exciting time for you as well. I mean, that first 10 years has whistled by. You're now going to put out the tenders, as you mentioned there, with the broadcasting for 5 years, and very much at the essence now of this white ball game.
Yeah, I mean, the way IPL is growing, when it is initially we had envisaged this idea, Ravi is, already aware of, because he's the original member of the IPL governing council. From day one he has been there. We had never thought that it will grow so well, and now today what we see, that's one of the best tournaments after the FIFA, and the kind of attendance we are able to get in the stadiums. It's being telecast in 182 countries of the world, and the kind of money which we are getting through rights is something which is phenomenal.
Jadav comes in once more to Mushfiqur, who just plays it defensively on the onside. I mean, I know it will be, and it's such an attractive deal for the main-headed sponsors, but this is going to just pause there a moment as once more Jadav comes in, and once more he gets his body behind the ball as it's driven back to him and there is no run. A competitive tendering process, but an exciting one too, and what an opportunity for somebody.
Yeah, it's an opportunity for everybody, and it's all open. It will be a walking bid. I mean, on a particular day we all will be sitting, all the governing council members, and then whoever wants to bid for it can come with his bid. It will be opened in front of everybody, so the process is going to be completely transparent.
Absolutely, which would be perfect. We just had a wide delivery there, so 153 for 2 Bangladesh this time. It's a wonderful shot and a great bit of fielding as well. Mushfiqur making room, and square cuts it just in front of square actually, but a diving stop. They go through for another single. Sorry,
so on that day, Shuklaji, there'll be some oversized suitcases. People will be coming with oversized suitcases for that bid.
It's for them to decide how much money one can bring to IPL in order to pick up the rights. Yeah. But obviously there'll be tons of papers, documents.
Round the wicket comes Jadav again, and this time it's sort of a pull sweep shot. It's not got anywhere. It's stopped at mid-wicket. With that in mind, and as well, I mean, what another attractive thing, and has to be, but is the prize money's good now, over $6 million, isn't it?
Yes.
And will you be increasing that, do you think, from here on in?
Year to year we are trying to increase it, and initially also in last 10 years the revenue of central rights for franchises were enhancing every year.
So he's bowled him! That's a big breakthrough from Jadhav. Tamim tried to sweep a full-length delivery, and he's out, and that's a third wicket and a vital one too. 154 for 3. And Jadav is the man who has got him.
Good change of pace, just slowed it up. Tamim early into his shot, slogging it away on the onside, missing it altogether. And this one, against the run of the game, India have struck. And look at Virat Kohli, he is over the moon. He knew how important that wicket was. Tamim Iqbal, the highest scorer in the Champions Trophy so far, he's gone for 70. And Bangladesh now 154 for 3.
Oh, that was a big moment. It was a good innings. Just to look back at his innings, though, he's played his part there, hasn't he? I mean, he's set them up nicely now to move on from here with 22 overs to go. You know, with 20 to go, you can nearly double the score. They're still on for 310, 320.
Easy, but he'll be kicking himself.
Yes,
he'll be really kicking himself. He'd done all the hard work. You know, very responsible innings till he got out in that fashion. If he'd gone for a shot and then hold out, he wouldn't have minded that. But it was an ugly shot in the end. But brought an end to a fine innings.
Yeah, Tamim bowled Jadav for 70 off 82 deliveries. You know, it's certainly changed the sense of the game. It's also what you've done, I think, with the IPL too over this decade, is that you've introduced an excitement for a new generation of young cricket lovers who completely, the new generation, get what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, young cricket lovers are definitely interested in IPL. Apart from that, the most important thing is that the budding cricketers.
Yes.
The kind of opportunities they are getting, the kind of stars every year we are creating. I mean, the unknown names. Suddenly they are doing so well in IPL that they're being picked up in the national team by their respective countries.
That's a key thing. Respective countries. A guy like Sean Marsh came in, fired, played for Australia.
We've seen as well the sense and the confidence that they've gained from that playing here, and will do so again in the World Cup in a couple of years' time. This time it's Jadeja down round the wicket, and he's bowling to Mushfiqur, who's 52 not out. Shakib now is at the wicket at the non-striker's end. The 5 men obviously still in within the circle at the moment. 3 of them on the offside, 2 just backward of square as well. He bowls. Not exactly turn here, Ravi, but there is movement on this wicket. It looks a good wicket. Looks a fair wicket, I think, today.
Very good wicket. And the sun is out, so the ball's still coming onto the bat.
Mushfiqur waits once more. It's on the onside, and he just plays this backward of square. He'll move through for a run, and Shakib will come to the striker's end, and Jadeja with more work to do. I think what we're seeing now is this is where India will feel that they've got to just sort of have that second press now, just changing things. I like the way that they get involved. I like the way that the captain has changed. He's brought in another attacking player. He's going to have a leg slip. He's going to be in himself, actually, at leg slip. And then he's got the 3 men saving the single on the offside, a man at shortish mid-wicket in a single saving position, but a catching position as well, in the deep square, just backward of square. And this time Jadeja bowls, and it's played defensively back down the pitch. Wonderful atmosphere, wonderful occasion, big semi-final for these two sides. It's in once more and bowls, and it's just played on the onside square that captain himself will have to go round and field, and he's off the mark with a single, and Bangladesh 156 for 3.
And Jadeja picking up a cue from Kedar Jadhav, just taking the pace of the ball. There's no point firing it into the surface. Variation's important.
He comes again and bowls, and that's another good delivery, and it's hit high on the bat, but it's pushed out defensively on the offside. End of the over, and 156 now for 3 after 29 overs. And well, Chairman, it's been lovely to see you, and thanks very much indeed for your words and letting everybody know exactly where we are, and we look forward with excitement to that whole tender process to come. That's just great. There we are. Perfect, lovely. And well, there we are then. And more on the IPL obviously to come. It's very much at heart of a lot of cricket, and with Bangladesh and Pakistan and of course India, things looking terrific at the moment for the continent, and the sides coming to a fore in this tournament. So now this is again an important one. Shakib just off the mark. He's on 1. He's right now. Jadhav, perhaps the man they didn't think was going to make the breakthrough just to get through the overs, came on and did so. This sort of slingy action wide of the off stump, and it's driven in front of square at no run. 3 men saving the single on the offside to Shakib. Then he's got a backward point, a man just backward of square, and a man at mid-off. Long on, who's just actually gone a little bit wider now, as comes in and bowls. Just a quicker one. It's on stump, and it's driven all the way down to the long on boundary, and just another single. And Ravi Shastri has gone and made way for England and Surrey's Gareth Batty. This is a good game now. What have we got? After this, 20 overs to go. You can nearly double the scores in these compositions if you've got wickets in hand, which Bangladesh have. So they're looking at least at 310, 320 here.
Yeah, no, I think when Ian Bella was on commentary sort of half an hour ago, obviously his home ground, he was suggesting 300 is a bit of a must here. Yeah. It does look a very good pitch. They're teed up nicely.
He's going to come over the wicket, and he bowls to Mushfiq, who just watches the ball onto the bat and just guides it backward of square for another single. Move on to 158 now for 3 in this, the 30th over of this innings. It's a nice day. Those early dark clouds that didn't get in the way of play have gone. We've got some fluffy white ones and a lot of blue sky, and the vivid blue of this Indian side in the field, having won the toss and put Bangladesh in, and Jadhav bowls, and this time it's played through the mid-wicket area, but more perhaps just in front of square on the onside for another single. And they went hard, Bangladesh, early on, but then the whole thing was sorted really for Tamim, who played such a responsible innings for his 70. Once more then, it's Jadhav, and he comes over the wicket, and it's that slingy action once more. Good length delivery, but it's just guided backward of square on the onside for another single. 160 for 3. Tell me about, he is basically the bit bowler here who's come in to get through the overs. And just trying to vary it a bit as he comes round the wicket once more to Shakib. It's wide, and this time he cuts in front of square. A controlled stroke there. I thought he was going to go after that, but it was quite wide. And in the end, just managed to keep it down. End of the over. 161 for 3. Now Bangladesh, after 30 overs. 20 more overs to come at the moment. And, well, I think we're set up for what could be real fireworks in these last 20 overs. Here's Gareth batting.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're trying to get a few overs of Jadhav out of the way here, so that it gives a bit of manoeuvrability nearer the end of the innings when the fireworks are going off. The batters are in sort of tax-free zone where they're just trying to rain on boundaries. But Jadhav sort of drops his arm very low. He's trying to almost skid the ball. He's not trying to spin it too much. He's trying to bowl wicket to wicket. I suppose similarly as to how he got the wicket in the end. It's a you miss. I hit
Jadeja comes over the wicket and bowls to Shakib, who defensively pushes it square on the offside. Thinks about the run. There was never a run there. And his partner tells him sensibly to just stay where you are. He stands very upright, Shakib. Now he crouches down a little bit and again drives it. Not a bottom hand there as well, back towards the bowler. And he himself fields. So a good start to this 7th over for Jadeja. Over the wicket, bowls, and Shakib stays in his crease and turns it square on the onside. There'll just be another single there. It's the field you'd expect at this stage. He's got a long on and a long off. He's got a deep mid-wicket. Man backward of square, saving a single on the onside. And the captain himself is there. And then he's got a man just further around, just a fine on the 3/4 backwards, and a man at mid-off as well. Once more, just pushed forward as Jadeja here, just putting in the sort of over that absolutely needed at the start of the last 20 for India. And 162 for 3. Mushfiq just waits. He's made his half-century, and again it's a sweep in front of square, slightly uppishly. Didn't completely time that one, I don't think, but he's got another single. Man's in from the mid-wicket boundary as the Mexican wave goes round the ground. They're thoroughly enjoying themselves, both sides of this support. The noise is intense, it's relentless. It's a full house here now. Green and the blue as Jadeja comes forward, and he just chops down on this backward with a late cut for another single. 164 for 3 Bangladesh at the end of the 31st over. Shakib is on 6. Mushfiq Rahman is on 50.
India almost trying to counteract the good position that they're in by skipping through some overs really quickly. I mean, that over probably from Jadeja was 1.5 minutes. They're just skipping by, and that's something that particularly sides that have 2 spinners try and get through the overs quickly, so that from Gareth Batty, delighted to say manners. Neil Manthorpe is back here in the commentary box on TalkSport 2. Yeah, fascinating period of the game. Bangladesh poised very nicely at 164 for 3. But in the batting team don't realise how many overs they have left.
Well, Kedar Jadhav continues, and when it's chopped out off the back foot by Shakib into the covers, and they run through for a single through the offside. I must say, Gareth, if you were on tour somewhere around the world, and the local cricket association supplied you with a couple of net bowlers, one of whom was Kedar Jadhav, you'd tell him to get out, wouldn't you? You'd say, you got any proper bowlers here?
I'm not sure I would. He's probably better than me. He's a part-timer.
No, really. I mean,
if he bowled left arm, I would, but he's a right armer. I've got to be careful.
He just looks like a batsman.
He is very part-time, that's for sure.
He is, isn't he, just? Anyway, he's in again, and that one is driven away off the back foot by Mushfiqur out towards mid-off. And he's got a wicket, and that so often happens, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I mean, he doesn't bowl two deliveries the same. His arm's in a different place every time. He uses the crease. His speeds vary a lot. Sweep shot here from Mushfiqur, straight to square leg where Yuvraj Singh fields. So I'm talking aesthetically rather than... I mean, he just looks rubbish. But he's clearly not, and it's flicked away through the onside, through mid-wicket for a single.
I'm still playing. I'm going to have to reserve judgment on this because there's a lot of people call me rubbish on a daily basis. But yeah, I mean, he's definitely part-time, and this sort of bowling is almost becoming death of the proper spinners, that you can faff through a few overs of this. He's killing the proper guys sometimes.
Quicker one here from Jadhav, and it's chopped away by Shakib down to backward point where Jadeja fields. Powerful throw in on the bounce, and MS Dhoni knocks it on, but they go through for a single. Shakib 8, and Mushfiqur Rahim has 57. I mean, you just don't know what you're going to get. Like I said, I mean, he bowls some deliveries like Lassit Malinga, and then others, his arm's right up above his head. So lots of variation here. Mushfiqur sets off for a single out towards mid-wicket. It was never there. Jadeja reacts very quickly and gets a throw in. Mushfiqur scrambles back to his safety of his crease, and the over comes to an end. 167 for 3 with 18 overs to go.
I'm probably about to do Darren Lehman a disservice, but when he used to bowl a bit of left arm spin, this guy's almost the right hand equivalent, albeit a bit shorter and maybe not quite as skilled as Darren, but
a bit slimmer as well.
A little bit slimmer maybe. We're just treading on some dangerous eggshells for me again while I'm still playing, but he the batters just have a way of understanding what the batters are trying to do, and they don't try and bowl like the out-and-out spinners do, which makes them difficult.
Jadeja continues with his left arm spin, cut away by Shakib for 4, just beats backward point. Desperate dive by the substitute fielder at backward point. Who's number 27? Is that
I think it's Rahane, is it?
Ajinkya Rahane, okay, yeah, backward point. And, well, good shot from Shakib, little bit of width on offer. I mean, you know, they say you know, employ a thief to catch a thief, and that's why bring a batsman on to bowl to batsman, and they know what they don't want to receive. Here's another cut shot from Shakib, straight to backward point, but he's right on the edge of the circle, through for a single.
And there's also the added pressure from the batsman not wanting to get out to a part-time. You know, you can almost play that card that, well, you get out to him, you're going to get told off by the coach when you get back in the changing room.
Here's Jadeja again to the right-handed Mushfiqur, pushes square of the wicket on the offside. Through they go for a run. Did you notice how Tamim Iqbal, having already been bowled off a no ball once in his innings, when he was bowled by Jadhav, he waited. Did you see that? He looked at the umpire, like, go on.
Surely it's a no ball, sir.
You can't let me be bowled by him. Driven by Shakib down towards mid-off. Rohit Sharma does the fielding, long off, and they go through for a single. Tamim was very fortunate, and Bangladesh were very fortunate. He was on 17. He was bowled for no ball by Hardik Pandya with the total at 55 for 2, and it was eventually 154 when that third wicket fell. Cut shot again from Mushfiqur, square of the wicket on the offside.
It's these batsmen, they want it all their own way. They never want to be out, they just want to bat all day and just rain sixes with only 4 men outside the circle. It's all loaded for these batsmen.
Of course it is. You know that.
Yeah.
That's driven by Shakib as Jadeja gives it a little bit of air, and well fielded by the bowler off his own bowling.
That's the modern day conundrum for the spinner now. With having the 4 out, you have to be able to bowl the ball at a good pace, because you can't allow batters to hit you 360 on the ground. You've got to be able to shut an area down. But with that, like we saw with Jadeja there, if you're a fraction short with that pace on the ball, it flies off through the point where he'd opened up the gap. If he goes slowly, then he opens up mid-on and mid-off if he has his point back. It's just a constant game of cat and mouse. And you see the best of the best, which Jadeja and Ashwin are. You see them playing with the field the whole time. It's a curious mix and a fascinating part of the game.
Kedar Jadhav is going to bowl a 5th over here, partly because, maybe mostly because Hardik Pandya was so off target in his first over. Off the back foot here, Mushfiqur drives off the back foot down towards long on, and they go through for a single.
Yeah, I think while Bangladesh are they're just trying to accumulate up to a score where then they're comfortable to get into that tax-free zone and start raining boundaries.
176 for 3. Jadhav once again to Shakib, plays defensively. I have to ask you, Gareth, Ravi Jadeja is wearing an Alice band.
Yeah.
Are you nervous about that? That's chopped away behind square on the offside to Yuvraj, no run.
I've got to be honest, I don't mind answering that one. I'd be questioning it if it was somebody in my team. I'd maybe have a few sly comments every now and again. It's a little bit effeminate for me.
It's pushed out towards extra cover, and there's no run, straight to the fielder. It's like men with buns, kind of Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Yeah, we've got a couple of lads who do it at Surrey.
That can't work, surely. Off the back foot here, chopped out towards extra cover. Long hair's fine.
They cop a bit of stick from the old man, but then they probably look at me and go, well, look at you, you plonker. You're no better.
Jadhav, quicker one, much quicker, and off the back foot, Shakib pushes it down towards long on. Go through for a single. Alice bands, I mean, they're not called Bruce bands, are they? Or Ben band, you know, they're Alice.
Absolutely.
Alice bands. 177 for 3 here, Bangladesh.
And it was the great Dennis Lilly that used to wear the sweatband round his head, didn't he? But I bet people wouldn't have dared say anything to him, because he'd have just bowled fast and tried to hit them on the head. Whereas a spinner, you don't really have any danger about you, do you? But, you know, you might get somebody out, you're not going to hurt them too much. Which I think with the great man Dennis, at least he could inflict a bit of pain on you.
You'd be nice sweatband, Dennis.
Yeah.
Looks good on you. Here's Jadeja, Alice band and all, and that's punched off the back foot by Shakib. Not timed, straight out to captain Virat Kohli. No, that's Kedar Jadhav at mid-wicket. Here's Jadeja once again getting... Oh, he's edged it! Dhoni takes the catch! Brilliant work from the former Indian captain. He flings the ball away, thick edge, and that's a real pleasure for a keeper, because you know that you've done everything right. You've just kept the hands in place, kept the palms open, and he was delighted. Dhoni doesn't show much emotion these days, but he was delighted with that. Thick edge, bottom edge too, even harder on replay.
Really nice piece of bowling from Jadeja. He had been cut the previous over. This one he's fired through a little bit more, of a sort of square seam, so that it wasn't going to hit the seam, it was going to hit the shiny side and skid on, as it did, back of a length. Shakib had just got a fraction bogged down, looking for a cut, bottom edge, big deviation to be fair to Dhoni. Wonderful catch, and does he like it? Wow, he's chucked it up in the air, out to square leg actually, to his compadre, the captain, I believe it was. He doesn't show a lot of emotion. He's happy with that one. I think that's a wonderful piece of bowling, and a very, very dangerous man back in the tent for Bangladesh, and a very nice piece of bowling from Jadeja.
Well, there's another dangerous man, a very, very accomplished player, making his way to the crease now. He bats everywhere. So spent a lot of time at number 3 and 4, but today his role has been designated at number 6. Do you I don't know the answer to this, and I suspect you may not either, but you can speculate as a captain. Did you think there's a degree of flexibility about the Bangladesh batting order?
Yeah, definitely. Because this fella, you would say, is a traditional, classy, right-handed batsman for all occasions. He could play in any form of the kit. He's a very, very fine player. Normally you would get those guys in, like you were saying, sort of 3, 4 to play longer innings, but I think having him down at 6 now, it gives them a safety valve. It allows some of the other players to be free and express themselves, knowing full well that they've got a very fine player coming in at number 6 who can shore things up and get them through to a total that they require.
Shabir Rahman was sent in at number 3 today, and obviously with a clear game plan of taking the attack to the bowlers, and he did so very effectively, hit 4 fours. So Mamadullah down at number 6, and his first delivery is beautifully driven out towards the man sweeping on the cover boundary, Shikhar Dhawan. Well, that was full and wide outside the off stump, and Mamadullah had to really reach for it, but did so, and found the middle of the bat as well. Yeah, just going back to the dismissal of Shakib, MS Dhoni absolutely delighted. And That's pushed defensively by Mushfiqur straight back to the bowler. He threw it away almost in the same motion as he took it. He threw the ball away just instinctively, and that one again pushed away for a dot on the offside. What was amusing is that you pointed out, Virat Kohli, the ball was in the air and he ran in and thought, I'm not so sure I better catch that.
He did. He certainly did.
Because Dhoni got rid of it so quickly. I think Kohli might have been thinking, what if the batsmen say, was that under control? This one is cut away to Dhawan again on the cover boundary. No run through.
It was almost the wicket-keeping version of Herschel Gibbs at Headingley when Steve Waugh made that very famous comment. But unfortunately for him, he didn't have somebody just over his shoulder who could catch it for him as well.
End of the over. Mahmudullah 1, Mushfiqur 61. Bangladesh 179 for 4, with excellent contribution from Tamim Iqbal, who reached 50 today reached 50 in 4 out of his last 5 innings, 70 from 82 deliveries. And Mushfiqur, now the one-time captain, is also on a half-century, 61 not out, as Kedar Jadhav continues with his occasional part-time variations of off-spin from the far end, the city end of the ground. Jadhav in full toss, and Mushfiqur drives it straight to mid-wicket. Oh no! He's hit a full toss to Virat Kohli at mid-wicket. Not a great delivery. Kedar Jadhav has picked up a second wicket. Mushfiqur is inconsolable, berates himself. What a time, what a delivery. He slugged it straight to mid-wicket, and Sir Clive Lloyd has just sat down next to me at what may be a key moment of the innings.
Well, yes, two of the batsmen were set, and both of them are now back in the pavilion, and so they have 2 new guys here now, and they'll have to try and repair the situation when they were doing quite well. And this is the part-time ball, and I think Ravi was not happy with him being played in front of the quick the other quick ball. But
Pandya,
yeah. So the point is here is that India's just back in this game here now, and it's obvious that there's another sort of a repair situation here for Bangladesh, but the situation is still delicately close.
Well, it's a semi-final, and runs on the board. If you can take as 20% off what you might ordinarily regard as a good score or a par score, there are still runs on the board, and Bangladesh they haven't got enough now, but but if they were to get to anything beyond 250, they've got a chance.
Yeah, any 250, 260, you can defend that, or you try to defend it, but 210 or something like that wouldn't be enough.
So Mustaq Hussain is the new batsman coming in at number 7. Kedar Jadhav to Hussain, plays away defensively out towards mid-wicket, fielded by Kohli, who was absolutely delighted with what he knows was a fortunate wicket. It was a poor delivery, low full toss, and it was an even poorer shot as Jadhav is in once again.
But if you look at, did he not chip into it? It looks like he just chipped into it and sort of hit it to the man at square to the... Is it the captain?
Yeah, it was. Oh, Mahmudullah's come down from the non-striker's end. Mustaq Hussain pushing that one out towards cover, and Mahmudullah thought there was a single there and had to be sent back, and scrambling back into his ground as Hardik Pandya reacted very quickly to do the fielding. No run, 179 for 5. We're into the 6th over here from Kedar Jadhav. And he's quicker one, short, wide, cut for 4. Poor delivery. I was being a little bit uncomplimentary about Kedar Jadhav's... well, certainly as a stylist, you wouldn't give him very high marks, but results are all that matters, and he's got 2 for 22 from 6 overs.
Yes, and he's got 2 of the most important players too. The point is that here is a guy who's supposed to be a sort of stand-in sort of bowler. He wasn't, and he's got 2 very important wickets. And I presume if Bangladesh is looking at the situation, this is the guy to milk. You know, because he's not a regular sort of bowler. Milk him, and you know, you don't want to hit him out of the ground sort of thing, so that he will be kept on, and you still have a lot of batsmen back there in the arch.
Last over from Ravi Jadeja, overpitched outside the off stump. Mahmudullah drives sweetly out to the cover sweeper. Rohit Sharma through for another single. Mossadegh Hussain is the number 7 batsman. He's got an extraordinary record. He averages almost 65 in first-class cricket. He's still a young man. He's a part-time off-spinner himself, and he changed the game against New Zealand. There's a swing and a miss from Mossadegh here outside the off-stump, trying to late cut it past backward point. He came on in the 42nd over of that game, with New Zealand looking like getting 300, and took 3 for 13 in 3 overs. Bowling in the last 10. Anyway, he's got a job to do with the bat now. Pushes this one behind square on the offside.
And they seem to be playing some very good cricket in Chelsea. Both of them actually having just come into.
Driven here by Mossadegh as Jadeja gives width outside the off stump, straight to backward point. Mahmudullah is signalling to the dressing room. I don't know whether he wants new gloves. He hasn't been out there very long. It's pushed away behind square on the offside again by Mossadegh. He's just looking a bit angsty. He wants to get off strike, and he's being frustrated here by Jadeja, getting through his over typically quickly. Again, cut away for 4. Just this time he does manage to pierce the 2 backward points. The gap behind square. He's very cross with himself. He's ruined what he knows was up to that point a very, very good over. Still, Sir Clive, 10 overs, no maidens, 1 for 48 from Ravi Jadeja. Does the business once again.
Yes, well, you know, he's a seasoned sort of professional. He knows his role, and he's done so. He's done very well here today on a very good pitch. Managed to, you know, to bowl less than 5 and over, and that's I presume is excellent in this type of cricket. But what I would like, what I'm noticing here, these two players are playing some very fine shots. They're not afraid to cover drive, hitting hitting it on the ground. They're not slogging. So if they can get that up to 260, 270, well then, the game on.
Yeah. Pressure of a semi-final. Obviously, Indian nerves, or at least the nerves of their supporters anyway, would be settled by a substantial opening partnership. But were they to lose a couple of early wickets, then chasing 270 would be, well, it's a semi-final, and they are expected to beat Bangladesh. Here is Ravichandran Ashwin back into the attack, and nudged out by Mahmudullah towards square leg. But I think gone are the days, really, where Bangladesh are regarded as an easy or a straightforward victory. Yes, most teams would be confident against them. The little lap sweep from Mahmudullah may well have hit him on the pad, and they run through for a leg by, is it? No, there was some bat involved, according to Richard Kettlebrook. Bangladesh are a properly competitive team. They didn't even come into this tournament as the lowest ranked team. Pakistan were 8th in the world, and they're in the final. Bangladesh were 7th, turned away behind square on the leg side again by Mossadegh.
And how do you see this competition in the future? Do you see associate players countries getting involved?
Pushed away by Mossadegh behind square on the offside. I don't know, Sir Clive. I mean, the one of the attractions of this tournament is that it's short and sharp. Over and done in just over 2 weeks. It's driven down the ground by Mahmudullah and misfielded, frustratingly, by Virat Kohli, who demands the highest quality from his fellow fielders, and he knocked that one on as he dived. But I think, what is difficult to know, that's pushed out on the onside, is that now that the World Cup has reverted to 10 teams rather than 16 or 14, you know, it's going to be the same as the Champions Trophy. So we just get a Champions Trophy, short and sharp, and then the World Cup's just a longer version. Just the top 10 teams in the world, just the top 8 in the world in the.
But you see, the point is, as an associate country, what do I have to look forward to? These are the tournaments that I would want to, you know, I want to be involved in, because I can improve my cricket. I can, you know, get more people involved if they have nothing to look forward to. You know, this is the world stage, and they probably would be able to get, you know, that sort of exposure. And inviting young people to play the game. If they're not going to get into these sort of tournaments, then, you know, it doesn't augur well for them.
I couldn't agree more with you. There is a one-day international, another one-day international taking place today. I bet not many people listening around the world know about it. Here's a little push outside the off stump as Hardik Pandya is back into the attack. Mamadullah trying to run it down to third man. It's being played at the Grange in Scotland, in Edinburgh. It's between Scotland and Zimbabwe. They're playing 2 one-day internationals, and then Zimbabwe travel to the Netherlands to take on the Dutch national side in 3 more one-day internationals. Both those nations, I'm sure, would have loved to have had the opportunity of being involved in the Champions Trophy. Pushed away defensively by Mamadullah straight up towards mid-off, but the bowler intercepts and fields.
And Zimbabwe got test status before Bangladesh, didn't they?
Yeah.
So where are they now? Have they given them any help to try and get back into the big time? You know, it shows like they've defeated the purpose of what they wanted to do in the future, the ICC.
Uppercut down towards third man. Will it carry to the fielder? It's dropped. Ravi Ashwin has not only dropped it, but he's knocked the ball onto the boundary rope, and it's gone for 4. Really tough chance, but thing is, he got both hands to it, and India look a little crestfallen there, because Mamadullah really holds the key to a successful end to the innings for one of these 2 sides.
Yeah, it stayed in the air long enough, but I presume a more agile sort of fielder would have taken that, because he got both hands to it, and that would have been a bit of a dent in the Bangladeshis' batting.
Down the wicket comes Mamadullah now, swinging wildly at this one. I don't know where that shot came from. He doesn't need to be doing that, surely. 195 for 5.
Yeah, they still have, you know, nearly 12 overs to go to sort of knock it around, try and get, as we, you know, we're discussing, get to 260, 270, then you have a chance. But you don't want to end up at 225. This is a very important game, and very large crowd, good pitch, and a lot of support.
Yeah,
and teams.
I mean, Mamadullah, surely he's got to bat through now till the last couple of overs. He's got a massive responsibility here. Short and wide and cut down towards backward point. They're running back for the second, and they'll make it very easily, very comfortably. 2 quality players at the crease, one of whom is immensely experienced, Mamadullah, one of whom isn't. It's Mossadegh Hussain. But then Mashraf Mortaza, the captain, he's coming in at number 8, and you know what he's capable of. I mean, he can hit decently, can't he? But he is a bowler.
Yes, and if you look at it again, they're playing good shots. These are good cricketing shots.
Full just outside the off stump. Mossadegh tries to run it down to third man, doesn't make contact. He's just looking a bit, as I said a moment ago, a bit tense, a bit angsty. He needs to settle. Mamadullah needs to put an arm around him, put an arm around his shoulders, tell him to take a deep breath and relax.
Yes, I think
Bangladesh 197 for 5. Sorry, Sir Clark.
Yes, I think there's a situation where they can have a nice little chat and say, well, right, let's get to 200 first, and then sort of knock it around to get to anywhere near 300 runs. We'll give them a good chance of doing well in this game. But anything under 250, you know for sure, India do have the batting press to sort of to get over that total.
It's 197 for 5. Lost their way a bit with those flurry of wickets. And 6 per over from here. They go on to 263. 8 per over, take them 285. Not much experience downstairs in the lower order with Mahmudullah, who scored that magnificent 100 against New Zealand. Like Neil Mantop said, has experience in his head at least, if not in statistics. So Clive, what sort of a score should Bangladesh really think about? Or shouldn't they be thinking about a score? Should they be thinking about batting out these 11 overs?
Well, they have to think of batting out the overs and getting somebody like 7 and over, which they can here by playing just decent cricket. If you get to 280, 270 out, at least give you a chance. That's a total to defend. But anything less than that, India will probably be able to pass the total quite easily because they have a very experienced players. They're very confident, and they're doing a very good job here. And they want to get to that final. They want to win this competition. And if Bangladesh do not sort of settle down and try and get to a good score, they'll be out of here.
And we've seen a lot of wickets at the Oval, which were flat beauties. We saw England scoring 300 with ease against Bangladesh, South Africa, Sri Lanka, India, all of them scoring 300s with absolute ease. How would you compare this particular pitch with the ones we've seen in Oval so far? I think the Oval tracks have been the best for batting. So how do you rate this particular pitch?
Well, it seems to be quite a good batting track. The point is that the ball is coming onto the bat. They've played some marvelous shots, the Bangladeshi batsmen, but 2 of them got to over 60 and never continued, and then that's what you need to do. They needed those 2 guys to be there and nearly until the end, to get to nearly 300 odd runs, and then that put a little bit of pressure on India. But if they don't get to 300, well.
Did you ever have somebody like Kedar Yadav coming in and throwing choco pies at the batsman, or it was all pace? You never needed someone like that?
If you want to call Viv Richards one of those, or Larry Gomes, they bowl for us.
Well, with your
Kali Churan.
Your quarter of pace attack, I don't think you needed any such bowlers. This time, Ashwin continuing from the Birmingham end to Mosaddaq Hossain, who is on 9 not out. Mahmudullah at the other end on 10. We have mid-off, mid-on. Not really mid-on, it's a straightish mid-wicket. This time played late by the batsman down to its square leg. In fact, third man who's up in the circle. Rohit Sharma, not Yuvraj Singh. He doesn't feel at backward point too much nowadays. This is Rohit Sharma, just not your traditional backward point, just more of a squarish third man really. Down the leg side this time, that was a poor ball from Ashwin. Mahmudullah sweeps it down, and that's Yuvraj Singh at fine leg. Crossover for 2 runs to the batsman. It's 199 for 5 at the moment. Bangladesh at the current rate, which is 5.04, will only get to 252, which is not something that they would like. It's been a good batting pitch. It's been a good day to bat on, and that partnership almost looked like taking the game away from India. Ashwin comes and bowls to Mosaddaq this time. Off his pads, direct hit from the fielder. Bit of deflection. The batsmen are easily coming back for a run. Ravindra Jadeja was the one hitting the stumps as the umpire signals leg by towards square leg. 200 is up for Bangladesh.
But you talked about part-time bowlers. We had Viv and we had Larry Gomes, and they've done their job in sense that people think, well, they've relaxed now. These fast bowlers are off, and would take a chance, and we would get the odd important wicket there.
How does a captain decide that, okay, now is a time to bring on a part-timer? I mean, obviously they're not regular bowlers. Kedar Yadav bowled in the Sri Lanka game, not used in the South Africa game. So how does a captain decide, okay, or is that the last throw of the dice? We'll get back to Sir Clive on that one, as Ashwin bowls to Mosaddaq this time. On Fuller on the off stump, played for a dot delivery.
No, we normally would have somebody like Viv and or Larry bowling 5 or 6 overs, so they don't really bowl the full 10. it all depends on what happens.
This time down the leg side, again tried to play off his pads, but didn't get too much distance or power on it. That's the end of 40 overs. Well, the scorecard shows the end of 40 overs, but there's still a delivery to bowl down there. Is that an extra delivery being bowled, or are we ahead on the scorecard? Not sure, but this time, down the leg side, a wide given. It's 206 for 5. And, well, there will be another extra delivery because of that one. Not sure if there's a confusion or is Ashwin bowling his regular quota or an extra delivery. This time the umpire thinks it's the end of the over. We think that Ashwin has bowled an extra delivery. It's 207 for 5. Fended the last one on the middle leg just for no runs. That 40 overs gone, 207 for 5.
Yes, you talked about bowling those sort of guys. You picked your times to do so. If somebody's bowling well at one end and they look like you want to relax somebody, then you bring on your part-timer just to try and lull them into that false sense of security. And if they get a wicket, well, then you've done extremely well. But we know for sure that one of those guys will bowl five overs. They wouldn't probably bowl 10 unless they're doing pretty well. And we had bowlers that can contain fellas, whether we're chasing or we're bowling first.
Well, any captain would want to have such a fearsome quartet of pacers in his lineup to pick from, and then obviously wouldn't mind.
Well, we didn't always have.
Yes, but
we had Bernard Julian, we had Keith Boyce, we had Van Bernholder. So it's not. We didn't always have Andy Robertson, Michael Holding, and Joe Garner.
Always helps then to have part-timers to take wickets, as Jasprit Bumrah starts from the pavilion end, short of length this time on the middle leg. Batsman onto his toes and plays it defensively towards the leg side. Kedar Yadav coming on today and bowling those overs. Virat probably had thoughts of controlling the runs and getting those extra overs out that Hardik Pandya was not able to get them. So in that sense it worked, but worked a bit more because of those wickets.
Well, just after this ball, I'll explain something to you.
Jasprit Bumrah to the batsman. This time, Fuller outside the off stump. He's had width enough to swing his arms and pull it towards mid-wicket for just the 1 run.
They did exactly what probably we would do with our part-timers. Throw the ball, let them have a go, and they give away their hands, then they're back into that.
In the game.
So, and that is what happened. What they should have done, I presume, is milk him. 5 or 6 and over. Then if you can bowl 10 overs for none for 60, you're in the ascendancy.
Jasprit Bumrah this time getting that in-swinging Yorker to Mosaddaq Hussain, who's played it down towards the leg side. Defensive stroke. Almost like a fear of failure against Yadav set in the Bangladesh batting lineup. They felt, okay, we don't want to throw our wicket away to Yadav. And then exactly that's what happened.
Yeah, they played some shots that they didn't have to.
Bumrah bowling to Mosaddaq Hussain. This is the 4th delivery of the over. This time Fuller on the off stump. He's driven it past the fielder at mid-off. That's a handsome shot from Mosaddaq. His 3rd boundary. It's 212 for 5.
That's a beautiful shot. That is wonderful. You look at that. Place it properly. Just hitting it through a pass extra cover there. It was a magnificent cricketing shot. And they've done so, from the inception. And I don't see why they have to do anything silly, and give away a wicket at this crucial time.
Extra cover, backward point, mid-wicket and mid-off in position. This time the ball rising a bit as it was dropped short of length from Bumrah. After that that splendid drive through the cover from Mosaddaq. He's gotten tall and played it with soft hands to its backward point. No run added. 5 from this over so far. To the 41st over, it's 212 for 5. Bangladesh will be hoping that partnership develops here. It's 28 of 34 so far between these two. Beaten! A bit of an appeal there from Bumrah. Dhoni not interested. Short of length again. Bit closer to the batsman. Tried to play it late down towards 3rd man. And again, beaten. That was 139.2 kph from Bumrah. End of 41 overs, then it's 212 for 5.
Yeah, I thought that was a terrific ball. I think it beat him for pace. He tried to run it down to 3rd man. Missed it completely, and I don't know if there was a bit of a noise but there was an appeal, but the umpire turned it down. But there again, it's still quite interesting here, because you have a batter who has made 100 in this sort of competition. So if he gets somebody to stay with him, they can get to a fairly reasonable total.
This time it'll be Ravichandran Ashwin. That was Sir Clive Lloyd. Very happy with Virat Kohli's use of part-timer Kedar Jadhav today, who's taken 2 for 22 in his 6 overs. This is 41 overs gone now. It's 212 for 5. Bangladesh, 5.17 so far for them. They were in a bit of an ascendancy as I'm joined by former England international Ian Bell. This time reverse sweep coming out. Brilliant from Hamidullah. Fuller on the middle and leg. He's gone for the reverse. Fielder at third man was up in the circle. Gets a boundary of the first ball.
A brilliant shot now, puts a bit of pressure back on Ashwin at the start of the over. That's what they'll be looking to do, is target those first couple of balls of an over, and then if they can play it nicely now, they can pick up 8 or 9 quite comfortably. But that's a brilliant shot to put some pressure back on the bowler.
Attack the spinner very first ball, isn't it? I mean, that's what Tamim and Mushfiqur Rahim did as well. So, well, is there a change in field? No, that third man is still up in the circle. Now again, this time Fuller from Ashwin. Good delivery, good comeback, a bit slower, just 82 kph. They played with soft hands towards the offside and off for a single.
Yeah, really good cricket, wasn't it? Follow that boundary up with a single, rotate the strike, and then getting this partnership back on track, isn't it? I mean, India did brilliantly to get those 3 wickets. 2 guys on, starting their innings, and Bangladesh trying to build something up so they can get some momentum going again.
Ashwin to Musadak this time, drifting down towards the leg side. Yuvraj coming in from spine leg up in the circle, bouncing on the ball, but the batsman crossing over quickly for a single. Ashwin suddenly didn't play the first 2 games, and now here he is in the 4th game of the tournament, his 2nd game, bowling in the 42nd over of the Bangladeshi innings. This time to Mahmudullah, fuller delivery, that's well controlled from Ashwin. Again, 93.9 kph there, a bit quicker onto the batsman perhaps, as he plays it towards the leg side for just no run.
He's bowled quite nicely, hasn't he, really? I mean, he's like a couple of wickets, but he's bowled tiredly through this middle period.
Oh, this time down towards the leg side. Tried to make room for himself, but then saw the trajectory of the ball was coming down towards the middle and leg. Clever bowling this from Ashwin. Started off with a boundary, but he's come back very, very nicely in this. Just the last ball remaining now. This time Fuller on the off. He comes forward and defends to extra cover. Virat Kohli stationed there. No run added. Just a 6 from that over. Nice recovery from Ashwin after that first ball 4.
Absolutely, yeah. Like you said, the batter did play well, targeted those first couple of balls, and he's pulled it back brilliantly. So he'll be happy with that. And going at 5 and over on a very good batting wicket, he'll be reasonably happy with that.
10 overs completed for Ashwin then. None for 54. Would have liked a couple of wickets. Always a great competitor is Ravichandran Ashwin. Meanwhile, it's 218 for 5. 6 and over from here gets them to 266. They have Jasprit Bumrah to fend off, and we'll also perhaps see Bhuvneshwar Kumar soon enough. You're listening to the 2nd semi-final. It's India versus Bangladesh in the ICC Champions Trophy 2017 on TalkSport 2 in the UK and Cricket Radio in different parts around the world. It's Jasprit Bumrah continuing from the pavilion end, and it's Musadak Hussain facing short of length again on the off stump. We saw that in the last delivery of the last over, similar delivery, and again the batsman beaten for pace.
Beautiful delivery. It looked nearly like a leg cutter. It looked like it's just gone away, actually. I wonder whether, I don't know if it's too late in this, whether Kohli will try and get a slip in there, but yeah, really good delivery that. Lovely carry as well on the pitch.
Bumrah again, 266. Ian, do you reckon enough for Bangladesh on this pitch? It's such a real batting beauty, isn't it?
It is. No, I don't think it is enough. I think at one time we were looking at 290, possibly 300, which I think would have made a good game, but those wickets were so important. The Indian spinners did a really good job in that period, like restricting the boundaries, but also picking up wickets now, which is, as they brought that score back from 290, 300 to 260, which I don't think is going to be enough on this wicket.
Bit of width in the last delivery from Bumrah. The batsman able to cut it away, but straight to Ravindra Jadeja at backward point on the ball in a flash. Dot delivery there. 2 dot deliveries to start off this 43rd over. Bumrah again, short of length. This is up in the air. Will be a return catch. It's a wicket. Another wicket for India. Again, short of length. Hurried onto him. 139.6 kph. Musaddiq Hussain under pressure to get off strike there. Went for the pull, didn't connect properly, and it looped up in the air. Bumrah agile enough to complete the return catches. 218 for 6. Musaddiq caught and bowled. Jasprit Bumrah gone for 15 of 25 balls.
Yeah, really good pace, good bounce, good aggression, and you just felt that there was a bit of pressure building there on the Bangladeshi batters there. And India have just done brilliantly in this innings, just taking wickets at the right time. I mean, Bangladesh just got a partnership going, just about to really target it, and they've just picked up the wicket now. And you've got another guy coming out, obviously, who's the captain coming out, experienced cricketer. But again, it's hard to start when you're on naught. You want to get that partnership going so you can really explode at the back end.
And I was just going to say, not what Bangladesh needed. You just got onto that, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. They've done a lot of good things in this innings, but they've just lost wickets at the wrong time, haven't they? And what they really needed to score 300 was one of those top 4 to go on and get 100. But credit to India again. They've just picked up wickets again at the key periods that are restricting Bangladesh from getting to that 300 mark.
Did they try and go too hard against Kedar Jadhav?
Possibly. I think certainly Tamim, if you look back at that shot at that time, it was a high-risk shot. I mean, if it goes out the ground, it looks great, but I thought he was playing really nicely. And again, I think Kohli would have been really happy with getting rid of him at that time. Like I said, it just created that bit more pressure, and that seems to be telling now for Bangladesh.
But India's smelling blood here. They've got the slip in. They know the tail is exposed. Well, India's tail is up at the moment. Backward point in there. We have cover. We have mid-off, mid-on. Fielder at deep mid-wicket, but that slip fielder, wide-ish slip fielder. Bumrah bowling to Mushraf Murtaza. Short delivery. Oh, you don't want that to be doing that to a pacer, do you? Short delivery, dug in. 142, but Bumrah working up some pace. And Mushraf Murtaza getting under the ball onto his hips on the crease.
That's a great delivery first up, isn't it? And it's made him work there. But you can just sense India now. They've got a slip in. The fielders have come in 2 or 3 yards closer, really hunting now to stop every single and looking for as many wickets as they can.
Bumrah again to Mushraf Murtaza. Again, short delivery. This time angling on the middle leg. Gets onto his toes and plays it towards the wicket, mid-wicket region. Fielder in the deep comes in and defends the ball. Just the run given there. Change of strike. Be Mahmudullah. 219 for 6. What does Mahmudullah think here? He obviously has to bat out the 50 overs. Does he farm strike? Can he think of farming strike?
This will be quite interesting, I suppose, when you've got... Does the new batter come and try and take the pressure off the guy that's in and maybe take a couple of risks and make sure that Mahmudullah sees this innings through, bats to the 50th over?
Bumrah again short of length outside the off stump. Mahmudullah again very happy to glide that down towards third man and take a single. End of over number 43. Then it's 220 for 6. And again, looking at what Bangladesh can do here. 6 and over gets into 262. 8 and over gets into 276. 290 is 10 and over. They'll feel like that's gotten away from them.
They will, and this is the kind of time now in the innings that this kind of momentum. If Bangladesh have a really good last 7 overs, then they can take that into their bowling. But India now will be looking, like you said, they will be looking to finish this off pretty quickly, take another couple of wickets and take that momentum into their batting. And if they start that first 10 as well with the bat, this game will be over.
And we were talking about seeing Bhuvaneshwar Kumar back in the attack again. 2 for 30 from 6. He'll be bowling from the Birmingham end. Bangladesh know that they have to get away these 2 bowlers now. 4 overs remaining for Kumar. We have 3 remaining for Bumrah. Between them, they'll have those 7 overs wrapped up. They've only gone away for 49 runs, picked up 3 wickets in 13 overs. Task cut out here in front of Bangladesh, really.
Absolutely. I mean, another wicket here would really put them under a lot of pressure.
Mahmudullah facing Kumar, bowling again outside the off-stump, bit of width, well fielded there. Jadeja backward point made that spot his own, really, and starting off with a dot delivery.
Really does seem to be one part of India's 50-over cricket, or all white ball cricket now, is their fielding as well. We've got world-class batters, some fantastic bowlers, but their fielding, I mean, there's a number of guys out there now in that ring and on the boundary that are hunting every run down, and they really are a good fielding unit now.
Kumar again on the top of his mark. India lifted their fielding throughout this tournament. Had a poor experience here against Pakistan this time. Down towards the leg side. He's helped it along as Mahmudullah down towards fine leg. In fact, that was Mushraf Murtaza who was on 1. No, it was Mahmudullah who's moved on to 19. India obviously didn't start off very well against Pakistan here in terms of their fielding. I mean, they weren't worse than Pakistan, but it was certainly not up to their standards. Went a couple of notches higher against Sri Lanka, but against South Africa, which is so much more intense. Those 2 run-outs come to mind, don't they?
That's right. I mean, that's part of playing this tournament, played it getting better every game. And
Kumar once again, fuller delivery. Did he get a bit of an inside edge there onto his pads towards a backward point? No run added there. Slip in position for Mashrafe.
Yep, Kohli's going all out here for wickets, isn't he? He's brought mid-on, mid-off up, so he's saying to him, if you want to try and hit one of my best bowlers back over his head go for it, get it wrong, you're 7 down, and then you really are in trouble. But you can see that it's good aggressive captaincy. Actually, just with that shot all in mid-on's just gone back now, so it's actually quite a good play of cricket right now.
Mashrafe tried to respond with that big shot, got that inside edge. Kumar once again to Mashrafe, this time short of length outside the off stump, full swing of the bat, enough width, and that fielder at long on, who was put there up before this delivery, can do nothing about it. Boundary at cow corner, and Mashrafe moves on to 5. It's 225 for 6.
Yeah, it's a really good cricket shot, and that's what we're talking about. Do you ask the batter that's in the top order player to take the risk, or is it the new batter? And I think this is a great shot, takes a bit of pressure off Mahabdullah, allows him just to go out and play. If he bats the 50 overs, and it gives them a chance of maybe getting over 260 now.
For this partnership, obviously, they'll try and say, okay, let's build something here and get to 50. Let's just the 2 of us get to 50 and not involve even the lower order batsmen in. As Kumar, fuller delivery again. Beautifully bowled, beautiful comeback. Fuller onto his middle leg. Mashrafe tried to get it down towards fine leg, was unsuccessful there. Dot delivery.
Really good delivery, isn't it? Follow it looked like the plan was to go heavy into length, make it as hard as it, but he changed it up with a Yorker, which I think was great bowling.
Mashrafe then on 5. This partnership 7 of 8 balls. Really vital here for Bangladesh to present a hard-working total for India and make it a bit of a hard work for them. India have their strength in batting. Again, short of length. This time again down towards the leg side. The batsman helping it along down to Yuvraj Singh, who's stationed at fine leg. This is just a single then. And at the end of 44 overs, it's 226 for 6. A comment from Ian Bell, and then Jonathan Norman to take you towards the end of this innings.
Yeah, really good cricket. India are coming all out now for wickets, and Bangladesh are going to have to play extremely well over this next 6-over period to get a score that can put India under some real pressure.
226 to 6, 6 overs remaining in the innings. This is it makes a mug's game of trying to forecast any score, doesn't it, Ian? Because, when Saka went early, you're thinking, oh, this looks like it could be an early finish. That 120-run partnership for the 3rd wicket, dreaming of India being set 320, 330. 8 and over from here would get Bangladesh up to 265 as Bumrah is in full, and he deceives Mashrafe. Bangladesh will take 265, but India, they're hunting more wickets.
No, they are, and India will be very happy with that. I mean, that's why they've decided to bowl first. They believe they can restrict Bangladesh and chase down any total, so they'd be very happy. It's very similar, I suppose, in a way to the England-Australia game. Australia at one point looked at 310 was a possibility, and then wickets just turned it, and I don't think they even got to 360, did they?
No, they didn't. Again, this is full from Bumrah, and short mid-wicket is picked out. It's a shame for Bangladesh because it's only one fielder in front of the bat on the leg side, apart from a deep square, which is just in front. But either side of the fielder, that would have gone away for a couple. But another dot ball, 226 for 6. And, India have got many strengths about their one-day setup, but death bowling is certainly up there as one of the greatest. Is a slower ball and a shorter delivery, and on the pole is Mortaza. He'll take a single. They hone their skills in the Indian Premier League, don't they, these days? And actually, when you're looking at Jasprit Bumrah, that's where he really came to prominence.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant, isn't it, for their young cricketers growing up and playing in the IPL, where you're playing on really good batter-friendly wickets, quite small playing surfaces. So if you get it slightly wrong, you're going out the ground. So, yeah, it's great to see someone really nailing their Yorker and getting it spot on.
Absolutely. Bhuvneshwar Kumar at one end and Jasprit Bumrah at the other. Sunrisers Hyderabad and Mumbai Indians. Bumrah, IPL champion this year, and he's in again, and this is another slower delivery which has gone down the leg side, and it's taken a little touch on the pad as well, so it won't be a wide. Slightly got away with that, but Bumrah is a case in point. Get past the strange bowling style that he has. He has two very distinct ways of bowling. At the start of an innings, he hunts wickets, but he goes just back of a length. At the end of an innings, he goes very full. And this is just the way of limited overs bowling, as he gets this one wrong, does Bumrah. He's searching for that full Yorker length, and is slightly fortunate not to let or see a full toss get deposited either square on the leg side or fine down to fine leg, where fielder puts in a good diving stop. Couple of runs to the score, 2-2-9 for 6. And for all the talk about the England players going over to the Indian Premier League and getting experience, as a youngster growing up playing the game, you really just soak up the experience when you're allowed to derive it when you're a youngster, 18, 19, 20, and that's where the Indians players again. Yorker length, and Mamadullah loses his off stump, and this is exactly what we're talking about. Experience at the death, and Jasprit Bumrah, who has honed this skill over the last 4 or 5 years of nailing the Yorker more often than not, has just uprooted Mamadullah's off stump. He goes for 21, 7th wicket down. Bangladesh now 2-2-9 for 7. Brilliant bowling, really.
Excellent bowling. There's obviously slight change-ups with slow balls and Yorkers, but that is how you bowl a Yorker. It is literally at the bottom of off stump. Absolutely perfect. There's nothing any player in the world could do with that one. But as you said, I mean, these young guys growing up playing the IPL, playing in a great tournament, playing with some of the best players in the world, under pressure all the time. This is just another way of helping these guys advance and produce the goods for India, which they seem to be doing.
Well, they're absolutely doing the do's for India at the moment. When you look at the way it's changed, Ian, after 27 overs, Bangladesh were 142 for 2. That's when Kohli, he gambled, didn't he? Brought on Jadaf, and it worked. That was the start of his second over. Fast forward 9 overs, they were 183 for 5. So they lost 3 wickets and only scored 31. Jadaf's 6 overs have gone for 22, and he picked up 2 wickets, and they just strangled the Bangladeshis, and unfortunately it's been almost impossible for Bangladesh to come back since then.
They did. It was obviously brilliant captaincy. They took the pace as well off, didn't they? Brought the spinners on, really took the pace. Oriel in a very good wicket. Obviously Tamim, poor shot, you'd say, in terms of that. I mean, and then they just squeezed. As soon as they got that wicket, India just stepped it up a level, and they've really managed to probably put Bangladesh under a lot of pressure, and probably just seeing this experience of India being in these stages of this competition, and Bangladesh who haven't been in these stages.
Kumar is in again, and he's driven back to the bowler with Fields from Mortaza. MS Dhoni going through a strange... It's a bit late for a warm-up routine, but it looks like it. Then he's doing the old high kicks just a second ago. Don't know if he's just feeling it after 44 overs in the fields.
Not going to have a bowl, is he?
He has bowled, hasn't he?
Bowled, yeah.
Actually, so have you.
Well, yeah.
You've taken test wickets.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Well, taken test and one-day wickets.
Test wickets or wicket.
Well, wicket. 1 test wicket and 6 ODI wickets.
I think something like that, yeah.
Well, I don't know why you wouldn't talk about it.
Well, our batters enjoyed it more than I did, I think.
A long time ago now. Kohli's put himself in at first slip, a wide first slip, as Kumar is in, right arm over the wicket, and he beats Taskin Ahmed. First ball groping outside off stump. So difficult for a bowler to come in at this stage. 230 for 7 runs needed, but you're bowling arguably, or batting rather, against arguably the best death bowlers in international cricket, certainly in current form.
Yeah, they've just got to try and get every single run here and not get bowled out under 250. At least they can try and get some pressure on if they get over 260.
Kumar again. This is played nicely by Taskin Ahmed, just opening the face of the bat and playing it down to Yuvraj Singh, fielding at third man. 231 for 7. And Kedar Jadaf is a curious player insofar that I always used to call my brother, when we played cricket, I used to call my brother a non-bowling number 11. And Kedar Jadaf, he comes in at 6 or 7, and in 11 of the 19 ODIs he's played, he hasn't had a bowl, and 6 of the 19 he hasn't had a bat. But he's 2 for 22 today. That's changed the game, and
it was. bit of a golden arm today, wasn't it? Really,
Absolutely.
So the captain has to take a lot of credit for bringing him on. Like I said, if he doesn't bowl him all the time, but he felt something was right today, and it was a great decision.
Kumar in again from the Birmingham end, and there's a top edge for 4. Can't say that it looked particularly impressive on the eye. He wasn't in control. He almost pulled out of the pull shot halfway through, but it took the top edge, and no fielder at long stop. So 4 runs doesn't really matter at this stage, does it? They just need to get runs on the board, Bangladesh.
Yeah, they'll take any runs anywhere, and that was also a good bouncer. But again, the danger of bowling that bouncer is the ball, as we've seen, that top edge can fly over the keeper's head, whereas your Yorker, you get a Yorker right, you're not hitting it very far.
Well, Bumrah is the Yorker specialist, but Kumar, who was out of the Indian team for a while, again, form in the IPL, seemed to get him back in it, showing why. 2 for 42 for today, and there's a bottom edge which flies through to MS Dhoni.
Yeah, that seems more like it for Kumar, really. I know he's banged a few in there, but he's not the quickest bowler in the world. He's a very skillful, but that was a brilliant slower ball, and I would have said for him it's more slower balls and Yorkers than maybe bashing the middle of the pitch, as you'd see someone with probably a bit more pace. But that was a brilliant change up there, and did the batsman all end up there?
Did indeed. Just a slight change in the field. Deep square. Well, deep mid-wicket is coming to deep square, and there's a shortish mid-wicket. It's actually just on the edge of the circle, the fielder. It's Ashwin, and he will field. That's where the ball goes. That's called bowling to your field.
It was a brilliant Yorker, wasn't it? That's what we're saying. And India looked like, and it's not easy. Bowlers try and they train a lot to hit these Yorkers, but India are doing it as well as anyone at the minute.
The best Yorker bowler in the history of the game, I don't know what you think, but I would suggest would be Lasith Malinga. Certainly in terms of stats, he nails his Yorker, because of course the error of judgment is very small when bowling Yorkers, because you can of course either dole up a half volley or a full toss.
Yeah, exactly right, especially with the power of the guys now. You're bowling at Chris Gale, you miss a Yorker, it's going out the ground. But they've done it brilliantly so far today.
Absolutely, and this guy has played alongside Lasith Malinga for the last few years for Mumbai, and he's spoken about how he's learnt a lot. I mean, very different styles, of course, but both idiosyncratic. Malinga and Bumrah, who is in again, and the batsman's moving all over the crease. Mortaza, well, this will be 4 runs. I'm not sure it came off the bat. Oh, well, the umpire is signalling so, but he was almost doing an Irish jig there, Mushraf Mortaza. He moved toward leg stump, and Bumrah fired it in at his toes, and the batsman somehow got a little bottom edge, which has flown away to the boundary, to fine leg boundary for 4. Wow, that was a quick turnover. Ian Bell 1 second and Gareth Batty the next.
Still playing out. We were fast. We've been in the gym.
Well, Gareth Batty, Surrey skipper. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you very much, sir.
Semi-finals, that'll be live on TalkSport 2 as well. Another short delivery this time by Bumrah. It doesn't go full, it goes short, and Mushraf Mortaza ducks into it. That was ungainly, wraps his chest. No run, 240 for 7. It's desperate times, really, for Bangladesh, isn't it?
It is. They could do with a few more sort of either lusty blows or a few more of the sort of inside nicks that he got at the start of the over. Bumrah there's followed him. He's given himself some room, Mortaza, and he's followed him with express pace.
He is nippy, is this Bumrah. Full again from the bowler, and Mortaza clubs this wide of mid-on, and it's fielded for another single. That brings Taskin Ahmed back on crease. He's 1, Mortaza 18, 2-4-1 for 7, and Kohli is well, he's just rotated things really well. At one stage, the Bangladesh to put on 123 for the 3rd wicket. Tamim Iqbal and Mushfiqur Rahim going really, really nicely. But he never lets the game settle, does he, Kohli?
No, and it's the beauty of having the spin options that he does. He can mix up the pace of the game. He can actually manipulate where the rhythm of the batsman is going. You can skip through some overs, you can slow it down, bring your quick bowlers back on. He's actually played it perfectly today.
Bumrah, right arm over the wicket, and Taskin ducks, and that's your 1 for the over. 2-4-1 for 7.
Yeah, this is the new modern day stuff. There's no looking after the tail enders anymore. It's wrap it round their ears. They won't fancy it. That's why they bat sort of further down the order. Quick bouncer again. This pitch looks a good pitch. 2 for 1 for 7. Yeah, this is the new modern day stuff. There's no looking after the tail enders anymore. It's wrap it round their ears. They won't fancy it. That's why they bat sort of further down the order. Quick bouncer again. This pitch looks a good pitch.
It's a funny old game, Saint. Full again from Bumrah. This is played to mid-wicket, and they will take a run on the overthrow. It's Yuvraj Singh down there, just to the left of the commentary box. We're in the pavilion end. And so, yeah, a couple of runs there. There was a little bit of a miscommunication, because that, of course, brings Taskin back on strike. And he was unsure whether Mashraf Morza wanted him back on strike. But in the end, the additional run was taken. Bumrah again running in now and bowls. This is shorter and just pops up off the outside edge, down to third man. No slip in place now. If there had been, that would have been an absolute dolly. Actually, it came off the pad of the batsman. 2-4-3 for 7. That's the end of over number 47. 3 overs left. 6-5. That will be what they're dreaming of at the moment, Bangladesh. 270. But India well on top of this game.
Yeah, and it's difficult for a set batsman to be taking advantage of a ball.
You've ever witnessed. And by the time it was over, there were far more snores and cheers in that cinema.
It was the strange thing was he just kept kicking Hanley how to handle it. He sort of basically wanted him to get up.
The man who was lying on the floor.
surely we.
You know, Ali landed 6 punches throughout the whole fight, and he said at the end of it. My memory is well. Let's put it this way. He said, Ali said, I would have done this I wouldn't have done this if I'd known he was going to fight like that. Nobody knew this was going to happen. Ferdy Pacheco, who was Ali's doctor, said fighting Inoki was an incredibly stupid act. To subject a great legendary fighter to a carnival atmosphere like that was wrong. Now, I'm not saying it's going to the Mayweather-McGregor thing is going to be that inept, but it's a similar ilk to me.
What about, Colin, if it was alternate rounds? So you had boxing one round and then UFC the other? Because
well, that would be more interesting, I must admit. But you don't think Mayweather's stupid enough to agree to that?
Oh no, absolutely. They did it under UFC rules.
Defensive fighters of all time, 49-0. There's not a bloody mark on him.
No, it's incredible, isn't it? So I think most people agree with you, but it will be interesting, isn't it? It's one of those fights where people say, "I'm not going to watch this. I'm not going to pay for this," and then.
Oh, wait a minute! Yeah. I didn't say I wouldn't be intrigued enough to have a.
I see. Okay. Oh, right, fair enough.
I just want to. I'll have a look, obviously, to see if I'm proved right. But look, so many forecasts have gone horribly wrong in other walks of life very recently, i.e., our general election. You never know, do you? That's why people will buy it.
McGregor's 7-1. So I've seen bigger.
Is that all?
Yeah, I think so. I've seen bigger. Bigger.
Time to beat Buster Douglas, who was 42-1 against Tyson.
Oh, well, fair enough. Any puncher's chance? Could he catch him? You don't think he'll get anywhere near him? That's the thing.
I don't think he'll touch him.
No,
I really don't. Look, if Colin McGregor was a boxer, not a martial arts expert, he wouldn't be in martial arts. He'd be another Mayweather.
I sort of wonder if McGregor might just, accidentally forget he's not doing UFC.
Yeah.
And then, lie on the floor and smother him or whatever. I'm not an expert.
Try some crazy strategy to overcome Mayweather's brilliance. Look, Mayweather's been out of the ring. Would it be 2 years, probably?
Yeah.
But, Mayweather always keeps himself in shape. So that 2 years away from the ring... yes, anybody else, I would say, the odds have shortened. But he's always fit. He still works in the gym with his fighters, and so McGregor's not going to get an advantage that way.
Colin,
thank you.
Lovely to speak to you. Colin Hart there, Sun Boxing correspondent. Interesting, isn't it? As you said, everyone thinks it's ridiculous and a farce. I'm not expert enough to know, but I'll take what the experts say. But we'll all still watch it. and we'll all be part of it. We're all guilty of it. When I returned, Andy, from Portugal last night...
With Stephen Gerrard golf day.
Yes, wonderful day. If you get the chance.
Yeah, etc.
I needed the loo at Gatwick Airport, and this is the North Terminal baggage collection carousel.
Do you mean the 75th worst airport in world airports?
Well, see this. Outside the toilet, I'll show you this photo, the London Gatwick Airport Loo of the Year Awards 2016 overall winner. Here's the quote. Gatwick provides toilet facilities to meet the needs of all types of passengers, mainly the ones that need the toilet.
So, I think he might be getting a telling off there, Taskin. I think he's had enough at this end as Mushrafik. He fancies maybe the slightly lesser pace at the other end. He's bowled quite quickly here as Bumrah.
He has indeed. 2.56 for 7 as Bumrah is in again, and Mortaza steps so far towards the leg. He offers Bumrah the opportunity to aim for the stumps, and Bumrah fires in what actually ended up being more of a full toss than a Yorker, but Mashra Mortaza can only club it down to long on for a single. 2.57 for 7. Taskin Ahmed will face the final delivery of the penultimate over. Just don't take a single, I would suggest. Just either hit a 4 or stay where you are. Left-handed Taskin facing up. So, well, will he be sent? No, he will be called through for a single. So he will face the first delivery of the last over. 2.57 for 7. And that brings to an end another good day for Jasprit Bumrah. 10 overs, 1 maiden, 2 for 39. Brilliant, especially on this pitch, which looks laden with runs.
Yeah, it's an absolute belter, and as he's done pretty much the whole competition and has done for the last 18 months or so, he's just been really dependable, really skillful. Everything he's set about doing, when he's gone for his Yorkers, he's nailed it. He's managed to pin a couple of the tail enders, so they might have a few medals for when they're bowling and have a few sore bits of the body to contend with, but again, he's just been quite magnificent. He just seems to do it over and over and over again, and being exposed to somebody like Lasith Malinga during the IPL has done him no harm whatsoever, and he's going from strength to strength.
Bumrah was a surprise inclusion in the World T20 squad for India, ahead of Bhuvneshwar Kumar, and bowled an incredibly important over against Bangladesh, as Kumar is in now, and no timing from Taskin Ahmed on the pull, and the ball heading high up the bat, flying up to a short mid-wicket. There's no fielder there, so it takes a single. That gets Mushraf Mortaza back on strike. Yeah, it was a match that is remembered because Bangladesh failed to chase down 2 runs in the last 4 balls, losing 3 wickets. But the pressure had been put on Bangladesh in the penultimate over by Bumrah, who'd actually put down a couple of catches whilst India had been fielding, and really kind of cemented his place within the side. And when you consider that Mohammad Shami, who Bumrah came into the side because Shami was injured, he hasn't had a look in the last 2 years because of Bumrah, and Shami's figures are absolutely exceptional in ODI cricket. Kumar in again from the Birmingham end, full again, and Mushraf Mortaza tries to target the deep mid-wicket boundary but can't get that ball away. No run, 259 for 7, 4 balls left of the innings. You're listening to TalkSport 2 and Cricket Radio with Mortaza, Mushraf Mortaza, just desperately trying to get another couple of boundaries to get his side up and above 265, 270. But India are the death over specialists, and they're making life very, very difficult. As Kumar at the top of his run comes in to bowl. Slower delivery, that might be called a wide, and is. 260 up for Bangladesh. They would have been dreaming of 300 at the 27 over stage when they were 152 for 2. But an unlikely hero for India in Kedar Jadhav removed a couple of big guns, and really Bangladesh imploded. Kumar's in, and he has absolutely nailed the Yorker again. Mushraf Mortaza, though, will call Taskin Ahmed through for a very quick single. The fielder back on the long off boundary, has to run in. Kumar looks like he might have hurt himself here, just hobbling around, looks a bit ginger. I don't know if he fell over in his delivery stride, and he's going to have to get a bit of treatment. I don't know if he turned his ankle over.
Yeah, it looks like it. Just pointed to his right ankle there. Might be from the footholds or something like that. But Mortaza there, as he hit it, he took 2 steps, and then he was shepherding his partner down, saying get through for 2 as Kumar went down. And it looked like he just on his second follow-through stride, he just lost his footing. He's got tape on his boot there, hasn't he? It looks like his boot might have ripped down the side, and it just whether his boot's giving him enough support.
Well, it looks like he's just got a little hold up in play. Bangladesh taking a little drink with 3 balls left of the innings. Looks like he's going to be okay.
Yeah, he's gone to the footholds and had a scratch around like all the big fast bowlers do. How you get footholds after just 40 overs, I'll never know, really.
Well, the Indian physio is just making his way off the field, as is the drinks carrier for Bangladesh.
Big Paddy. Flew on and flew off, didn't he? Yeah. Bit of magic spray, he's good to go now.
All sorted.
Yeah, he's fine, look at him. Dancing around.
He is, he's doing the hokey cokey at the other end, isn't he? Bhuvneshwar Kumar. Okay, all set. Mushraf Mortaza, 29. 3 balls remaining in the innings. Bangladesh, 262 for 7. As Kumar comes in to the right-handed Mortaza, who tries to club this through the offside. In the end, he tries to club the ball through the offside. There's a deep point in position. It would have only been a single. But he gets a bottom edge, which flies down into the turf, and he is so keen just to get on with things. The ball is bouncing. It's bounced once, and he tries to pick it up, succeeds, throws it back to the bowler, almost just to say, come on, let's just get these 2 balls done. But overthrows it, it lobs up over Kumar, and in the end, Taskin Ahmed has to field. Kumar is in again. Again, it's drilled to backward point. Full again from Kumar. And Mushraf Mortaza does take the single. Taskin Ahmed will face the final delivery of Bangladesh's innings. The tail ender, who will be asked to perform miracles in about half an hour's time.
Absolutely.
He'll back himself, though, Taskin. He's a prickly customer himself and bowls at good lick, as Alex Tudor would say.
He's another one that's burst onto the scene almost through 2020 cricket again, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a massive star in Bangladesh. During that series when you were playing,
absolutely,
he was front page news. He wasn't even in the test side just because he got his hair cut.
Yeah, no, it was all over the place.
Last ball of the innings will be bowled by Kumar, who is in, and Taskin Ahmed clubs this up to mid-off for a single. So Bangladesh finish up with 264 for 7 from their 50 overs. They would have been dreaming of far more than that when they were 152 for 2, but they got what they got, and Gareth Batty, they are at the halfway stage, still in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a score, isn't it? 2-6-4. It was what people were saying about England yesterday. Could they have got themselves to some sort of a workmanlike total? You would suggest the pitch looks very, very good. So under par, yes, I think. We had Ian Bell in earlier who was suggesting 300 plus would be a bit more the norm, a bit more par. But it's still 267 runs, and if they bowl well, it's giving themselves a chance. So it's over to the bowlers, and like you said, maybe not quite miracles, but they need some pretty outstanding individual performances with the ball to put India on the back foot.
Well, the story of the game, very briefly, is that Bangladesh lost a wicket very early on under very cloudy skies, being asked to bat first. Sumasaka going in the first over, and when they were 31 for 2, it looked like it was going to be a real tough day. But hopes were risen, really. A superb third wicket partnership of 123 between Tamim Iqbal, who had a chancy innings, and also Mushfiqur Rahim, the diminutive wicket-keeper, both registering half centuries. But Kedar Jadhav, brought on to bowl by Virat Kohli, did a job for his captain. 2 for 22 from his 6 overs, and they really strangled the life out of Bangladesh from that point onwards. Regular wickets all the way up to